Neil, stretching. He'll be locked and loaded momentarily.
Man, I'm sore as a donkey.
Did you do anything on the weekend?
Well, I've been hitting dips and pull-ups now.
There it is, bro. There it is.
There's no leg movement, so I may as well just go and just destroy dips and pull-ups, and my body is
my man. Kill it. All right. Joey and I will be same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow, guys. I'll see everybody at the big desk tomorrow.
Have a good one, Jody.
Always talking about. Yeah. Welcome back, everybody.
We're talking about the Eglinton LRT that I think took 25 years. I think.
Is it 25 years?
That's not that long. They started in. I was gonna say, I was gonna say late 2010s.
15, 20 years.
Yeah. So, anyways, welcome back, everybody.
Actually, before that, we were talking about Apple.
Yeah.
Apple's up 3%
awesome.
today. But I don't think there's Apple. I don't think there's Apple stock haters. Sharif was just saying the Apple haters. I think there's Apple Android battle going, but I don't think there's like Apple haters on the stock. I don't know anybody that rails against it. It's not that kind of a stock. Anyway, up 3%. No real big story.
Yeah, Sharif.
We're 2 hours away though. Just saying.
I know. I'm just saying. I was only because he's right there. I was like, yeah, Sharif.
We're 2 hours away from Palantir earnings. And like I said, we'll be doing the after show obviously for that because that's how we roll. So stay tuned. We'll do the rundown and all that stuff in just a little bit. I'm only in I'm still in ZSL and WBD, but I feel like there's no chance that we move this little for the rest of the day in Bitcoin.
No chance in hell.
So it's trying to lose VWAP, and I'm waiting for this thing to get underneath VWAP here because there's a serious lack of volatility in Bitcoin. We're still under 80,000, but it just hasn't moved. It never broke 45, so I think still looking for the short there.
That is strange. I did have, what's up, everybody? I did have Oracle. I'm on Oracle now. I did have a bigger move planned for Bitcoin today, and I think you're right, like 78,000, especially with silver actually dancing. I am surprised that we have a lack of movement on IBIT, to be honest with you.
Oh, can you just do the thing with your...
Oh, I'm not... oh, yeah, that's right. I'm logged into my earpiece. I just didn't click on the right thing here, Andre, so you can hit me up in 1 second. Is that any better? I think it probably is. There we go. Okay, perfect. I got you now, Andre. Thank you. Yeah, a little surprised on what's been happening there with IBIT. I sort of messed around with Oracle. I was debating long or short right there at 165, right at that low of the day. And so I lost a little bit of money because I was first... Here, let me see if I can... I was first long, and I just was talking with Marissa. I'm just throwing money away, so I better just phone the wife before I went on air. I went short, that got stopped out, then I went long, and that got stopped out right at the same areas here, around 165. We were able to take a little bit of profit, but then no, and once it broke and we saw the trend here start to fade out a little bit, we decided to go with the double barrel short there on that break, and realistically I wanted more short there, but we missed it, so there it goes to the downside. That's what's happening right here, and then silver, kind of the same thing. We went short, stopped out, short again, now make profit. So kind of just flat on these last couple dances right here. We did get back in, and it's funny because we had the long there in Tesla, and then I tried to go short right there, which was exactly right. We got stopped out. Well, it's not right when you lose money, but look where we got stopped out. Right at the high of the day. Otherwise, this right now would be about 50 cents in or so. So we went short against basically the highs at that time, which was right there, and then got stopped out. Could have got back in, but just was like, do you really want to keep shorting Tesla? So we went over to Oracle, and I think we did good picking our poison over on ORCL. So yeah, just that's what I've been doing on the midday. We'll figure it all out as we go. As Neil mentioned, like 2 hours away now, pretty much exactly right now from Palantir earnings, and that should be really exciting. That name's been going a little sideways. We'll definitely check in on that. But yeah, exciting times ahead, and then we'll do the rundown. It's 2 o'clock, 2 more hours of this, and then the after show.
Will be exciting. And this next hour of the show brought to you by eSignal, where you can trade smarter, not harder, like we say. Make sure you check that link and scan the QR code below so you can find a platform that gives you reliable data, that gives you the ability to trade through multiple brokers, the ability to back test, forward test, use every indicator imaginable, level 1 access, level 2 access. Obviously, something that we use here on the show. As a matter of fact, we were literally talking about Disney. I had the Disney weekly chart up. You can use it for 5-second charts, 2-second charts, 3-second charts, so you can look at the moves in very, very small time frames, in addition to tick replay, which is pretty cool. So you can go back and you can record how a stock was trading over a given period of time. So scan that QR code in front of you. Shout out to eSignal, and want to thank them for sponsoring this part of the show. While I'm here, we were talking about Disney and how the kind of nothing burger that it is. This is a weekly chart of Disney. They reported this morning, and Disney's having a very bad day. But when you put it into context, this stock has been between $80 and $125 for. I should just put up a monthly chart. Forget about the weekly chart. The monthly chart's going to tell you a better story. Since down here in April of 2022, when we got into this range, it's been $80 to $125 for about almost full 3 years now. So I know there's a lot of traders will say the same thing. It's like, if you're not buying it at 80, there's nothing else to do. And then eventually, when it does break away from 125, I feel like everyone's going to be all excited about it. And then there's an opportunity there, unfortunately for them. And I strongly doubt this will be on the rundown, so I feel like we can go over Disney here. Apologies if it is, but I seriously doubt it. But down 7%, approaching $100. Wasn't even that bad a report, to be honest with you. It's just, sometimes this is just how it goes. But the overall market's up a point. We've had a pretty solid recovery. I'd grant you, on the backs of not only things like Apple, Amazon's up a couple of points today. You've had big runs in some of the chips like AMD, which is up 5.5%. Intel, which I've managed to get away with a couple of quick shorts in there, when realistically should be long. Intel's up 6% and above Friday's high, almost hit that $50 mark. So there's a lot of strength in the market today, no question about it, going into big earnings tonight and big earnings the rest of this week with the aforementioned Amazon, a little bit of Alphabet as well. And Chris Godson, what's driving GME? Well, if you believe the tea leaves, it's Michael Burry, and it's, well, I mean, Ryan Cohen insider buying probably drives it more.
There's also Ryan Cohen is supposed to be working on something.
He's supposed. Oh,
Fabian muted. No, Fabian muted me. We came over here trying to fix the mic, but
gotcha.
no, there's one big thing happening or something. There's a major change or whatever that Ryan Cohen is supposed to be happening, and there's a Twitter account that was supposed to have.
But they didn't send anything out, though.
No, but he said he didn't go on the interview because he's working on something huge.
Okay.
So, take it for what it's worth. I mean, that's, when you're looking at that, I think if you've had some profit in GameStop up to this point, I mean, you've probably traded it real well down here off 21 and 22, and then you get that sort of move up. I do wonder what it is. I sort of see the benefit right now of all the auctions. Like, they're really hot right now, the Pokemon cards, the PSA, like all the card grading and things like that. I bet you GameStop is doing something with card grading, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to do something with either they're going to buy PSA or something like that, and some sort of a system, because I watched that Netflix show, The Golden, and like Jake Paul's thing is going to go for, right now it's at 5.1 million. They have the Honus Wagner and all that. Like, cards right now are huge. Everything to do with collectibles is huge. So I'm wondering if it's going to be a collectible thing. I have no idea, but that's what I'm wondering.
That makes sense.
They had put little tidbits of that in one of their earnings releases in the past as well. We sure as hell know their Bitcoin holdings aren't necessarily popping off right now. So we'll figure out what it's going to be. That's my somewhat educated guess based on how hot that space is right now. So I just think it's going to be card grading, something like that, and then a platform for that. I don't know, it's just so huge, that's all. Like, I went to this card show because my kid got this Pokemon card. It's worth, I don't know, it's worth $800 or $900, whatever it's worth. But he got it graded, and it was really exciting. And there's thousands of cards that get graded to these guys every single day. So I was just wondering if it was something.
Collecting as a kid is like such a. It seems like such a like a normal kid hobby, but it's actually a very good hobby.
It's gotten to be crazy now.
No, but I just sort of mean, I know some of the values get out of hand, but the whole notion of, okay, well, you choose what it is that you want to buy or invest in. Like, okay, I want baseball cards, hot cards. I want to get this type of card. You can go I want to get it for my favorites, or I want to go and try and get some valuable ones that I think are going to increase in value, and then you can trade.
The fun thing is opening up the cards.
It's fun, but there's a lot of good lessons that you learn from any kind. I mean, there's all different kinds of collections as well. I just saw a hilarious. Well, it's not funny if you own the stock. Someone just said that Figma is going to Middle Earth. I don't know why the Lord of the Rings.
Or?
Well, I would imagine.
Okay.
I would imagine they're trying. It would be bad, but
So going to the moon is good. Going to Middle Earth bad. Okay,
yeah,
got it.
Middle Earth down. I didn't realize this morning I was talking about the bad IPOs, or it was basically, I was talking about Circle making an all-time low in here, and Figma, I mean, that thing has been making all-time lows for like a couple weeks now. Like it's just infinitely, well, not infinitely worse, but it's significantly worse. And another 5% down for them. I do believe we're locked and loaded to, are we? All right, we're locked and loaded to start the rundown. Pretty sure no one cares about Figma. But much like Circle, which we do talk a lot about as a recent IPO, they're not having a very good day. Let's see what you guys wanted to talk about here in the rundown. Ooh, I forgot to cheat. My guess is silver is number one.
It's right there, Neil. Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys, Neil and Sean, locked and loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get your ticker on the Afternoon Rundown, you got to join us in the chat. You got to vote every day for your favorite ticker. It's super simple. Throw in that $sign followed by whatever ticker your heart so desires. Let's look, though, at all four major averages to start here before we look at the Afternoon Rundown items. The triple Qs up 1%. Good look here for the Nasdaq ETF. Likewise with the SPY up 0.7. The Dow doing it live here up 1.07. But leading them all, the small cap ETF, the Russell 2000 ETF IWM up 1.5%, trying to take out 264, 263, 77 high. The first ticker, though, as decided by you guys, SLV, the blood continues to come off here, that huge silver trade. SLV got into 110, I believe, on Thursday. Then all hell broke loose on Friday. And if you believe this report, that precious metals are trading lower amid continued weakness after President Trump last week nominated Kevin Warsh for the Fed chair. Warsh's nomination is raising the value of the U.S. dollar, which may have eased investors' concerns that drove them to safe haven assets. If you believe that, then this makes sense. Boys, SLV down 4 2/3.
Yeah, we were both trading SLV, well, silver earlier. One was ZSL and me with SLV. I'm about to get out of this right now as it breaks that high. So I was just going to say, like, the trade for me was early. I just want to talk about this right there. If we break, I think I have at 72.10s. So this area right there is literally 72.10. So if that breaks, that's 72.12. Okay, let's get exact. All right. When we weren't up there, I guess I didn't zoom in enough. 72. All right, let's go a little more aggressive, 72.16s or so. But right back into this area. I don't mind shorting some. Let's short something around here again. And if we're able to get a little bit of a trade, that's great. I think it's well worth the risk right now to go a little short. But yeah, right off the open. And it wasn't right off the open, so I got to watch what I'm saying. But, you know, we wanted that pre-market low break there. And anyways, let me just call it the low from 8 o'clock, okay? That's sort of that break that we wanted. And when it happened, I missed it. Got a little FOMO down here saying, okay, it's going to break 71. We're going to go lower. We're going to go lower. It does bump up. So we didn't get stopped out or anything. We just held on to our trade. We didn't trade that many shares down there. This is more the plan of action for me now, is instead of just like layering in, you know, all the way up until, you know, sort of it reaches a maximum tipping point, I'm just going to get in smaller when I'm like sort of having a feeling. And then when it comes up to the spot where VWAP was in the 50 period, I mean, we have to have that tick replay that Neil was reading about. He's going to get this right. But it went right into VWAP, and then that was my indicator to short it. We talked about it on the show, and that was a really good one, man, all the way back into the low of the day. And then finally out right there on a 25 period moving average break. So I have a 25, a 50, a VWAP, and a 200. That's what I'm looking at right here. And now I'm just trying to, I'm going to get a little bit out now, even though I know it's not like a huge winner here, but now I'm just trying to go short. I almost feel like it's a long now, to be completely honest with you. But until we sort of break this area, I've just still have like muscle memory of how horrible, you know, Friday was to the downside. So just waiting to see if we do give it up. I think it's really worth the risk to reward now to, you know, to risk like when I'm 25 cents now to make it all the way back down to the downside. So that's kind of what we're doing now with silver. But yeah, the whole Kevin Warsh effect, I think, has washed off of this. And now we'll just have to wait to see, you know, where the real move happens. We'll take another bit off right there at 71.40. And then we'll just get a little lower. I was going to go back to the Warsh joke. I was going to say something else, but whatever. I thought that was pretty good.
I feel like we're going to get a lot of run out of that one. Oh, I had the joke drums, but they're on the wrong page.
Yeah.
Don't use that one enough. But I don't know. It's not terribly different. ZSL is just going to be inverse. There's basically it broke out, it pulled back into the prior high, and it dipped, did miss. I mean, we'll make an argument that this dip got missed, but it just pulled back into that prior high several times and holding the volume weighted average price. But much like Bitcoin, it's somewhat of an inside type of day. Like there's volatility in here, but it's not nearly as extreme. So I think playing inside the range, VWAP to the high is all I'm looking for in ZSL, just to do a little bit of continuation. And overall, this type of a day, because it's consolidative, makes you feel like the bleeding might not be done. Because it's like you like consolidating in an uptrend sideways. Well, we're just kind of consolidating after the drop, gapping down a little bit. So yeah, just looking for it to pop. We'll see if we can't get the same range that we've been trading in before. And move on to, I don't know what number 2 is going to be. It could be AMD, it could be SNDK, it could be either.
It is in fact AMD, Neil, which is up over now 5 1/3%. Great day for AMD, and they are scheduled to report earnings tomorrow after the close. So make sure to catch that with us. AMD reports tomorrow after the close, and here's what analysts are expecting. They're expecting revenue of $9.67 billion compared with the $7.66 billion they printed last year on the quarter. Net income supposed to come in at around $2.17 billion compared with the $482 million they minted last year in terms of profit. When it comes to EPS, we're expecting EPS to come in at 84 cents per share. Not sure if that's adjusted, but compared with 29 pennies we printed last year on the quarter. Separately, a couple of analysts note today on AMD, Cantor Fitzgerald maintaining coverage with an overweight rating and a $350 price target. Their past rating was also overweight, so just maintain the same thing. RBC also sees upside in AMD result on healthy server demand. As a result, they boosted the price target as well up to 230, but kept it at sector perform. AMD up 5 1/3.
AMD just continues to do what everyone thinks and hopes that Nvidia is going to do eventually, which is start moving again. Like AMD has gone, like it went 200 to 260 in the time that Nvidia I think went like $5 or $6, or maybe it went $10. I don't know, but it certainly wasn't that far. And what's crazy about it is it's not like AMD's doing this because it's some kind of crazy value. If they meet expectations tomorrow night, then they'll be trading at a 37 PE because that's what the forward is, and don't even look at what the PE is now because its PE is probably lower than my weight or higher than what I weigh in pounds is my guess. But the forward's still going to be expensive even if they get as expected. So a beat is going to need to be in the cards given where they're sitting right now, and it's almost back at the 250 level. We're talking double top at 250 this afternoon on AMD. It just seems a little bit, I don't know, it just feels like the bar has gotten pretty high for them tomorrow. And every single time the bar has been high, with the notable exception of Meta, everyone's been getting slapped. So it's hard not to believe they're going to get slapped a little bit tomorrow night, but we'll see what happens when it gets there. I think the 250 is sort of the obvious spot you're looking for this afternoon. But something about the market this afternoon just screams of we could be a little bit more sideways. So I'd rather not be looking at something maybe correlated to the market too much, because that Nasdaq doesn't want to do anything this afternoon. Oh, we got a super chat about AMD from Adam.
All right, put it up.
Can you put that up?
Chat. Just quickly here, we did get out of ORCL a little bit on the low side there, as it was more than $1 in the money. Now it's starting to go back up. We'll put another piece here at 164. Watch out. I think I'm going to stop out if it takes 164.70 right there on ORCL. Yeah, I mean, if that's the key, right? I mean, that's what we've sort of been talking about here for a minute is, you know, what does Wall Street expect from a lot of these companies? We did get a little bit of a disappointing number, obviously, from the expectation for Intel's forward guide, but obviously Intel's a completely different beast than AMD. I mean, are you trying to say, Adam, that it's going to be like a great number? I can't say it's going to be a bad number. I don't know where AMD is going to go, but the forecast should be good. I mean, Texas Instruments was, you know, a good report there. Taiwan Semis, you know, like nobody's really shouted at the top of their lungs that there's a problem with demand or anything like that as far as some of these GPUs are concerned. So I believe you're probably right if you're thinking that AMD has a chance to put forth a good guide. So I think that that's probably a good call, and I think you're probably spot on that one, Adam. So yeah, great call on that. I haven't traded anything today. Like I was just just in the space, because it was AMD, I'm on Oracle, and it was just, we got $1 in there, and we're going to try to, my stop was always high, like just at this tick there. So normally you could get out at that 20, but I'm going to try to get out because we've already covered more than half of this trade. I'm going to get the rest out if we take this 50-period moving average here on a 1-minute chart. So I'm going to put my stop in right now in Oracle at 164.75. So 164, which would basically be flat. 70, well, would be flat. 76s, we put an offer enter, and we get going on Oracle. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I'm going to get the honor to throw it back to Sharif.
Headline there, guys. Just got this now. U.S. to host critical minerals ministerial on February 4th. I don't have more information than that. As soon as I do, I'll get it to you guys, but that's just coming in now. Let's talk about SanDisk, up 16%. Ridiculous move. This is the earnings play there in the aftermarket back on Thursday. It sold off aggressively on Friday, held some key technical levels right back, though, boys, into that 674, 675 area high that we got to in the pre-market on Friday. Today, several rating agencies taking the opportunity to chime in on SanDisk now that they've reported, with Citigroup boosting that price target from 490 to 750. Likewise here by Barclays, they raised the price target from 385 to 750, but they maintain the same coverage. And then Bernstein maintained SanDisk with an outperform rating, boosting the price target, boys, from 580 to 1,000. SanDisk, aka parabolic RAM name, up 16.6.
Oh, what a beast.
I mean, the movement that that thing had. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, the earnings was crazy on that name.
Yeah, it's, look, we saw the parabolic numbers for them, right? Like 350% here, 300% there, whether you're talking about EPS or revenue or the guide. It was just unbelievable. And they needed to, and they were seen as needing to do that. That being said, on Friday, it just spent the entire day dumping. Like there's barely, I mean, outside of literally the end of the day in the last half an hour or so, when I think you had a few relief rallies at the end of the day on Friday. When you have a down day like that, it's going to happen. But outside of that, it was a huge sell-off, and you've now come full circle. I mean, it's got to be painful for anyone that's thinking there's a top in some of these memory names, and and they did better than Western Digital, right? Like it was very much SanDisk's party, and Western Digital was like a side thought, because I believe in the aftermarket show, I think Western Digital was down a point or two and not doing anything, and they had a pretty good quarter. Yeah, and SNDK was just blowing it out. So for now, they remain the leader out of these memory names, and again, to me, it defies all logic. I think after seeing this topping tail candle on Friday, it's weird, because I'm not sure why I didn't even pay for locates. Maybe for some reason, I was like, yeah, it's probably not going to set up. After that kind of a topping tail candle, you're really thinking potential continuation, or at least like some kind of a hold lower. This might just break out again. So fantastic numbers. I suppose you could consider maybe there's a hiccup. Even if you think there's a hiccup when Micron reports and signals a top for the sector, Micron reports late in the cycle anyway, so you got plenty of time till then. So yeah, it just continues to go. Thankfully, didn't try shorting this one today. So once again, 16%. The stock, it's been an absolute rocket ship. And they needed to put up the numbers to justify it, and they did do that on Thursday.
Yeah, and we saw Western Digital, Micron, all those names continue to, make some moves. I did re-short, so we did get a little bit reloaded. There on Oracle. So again, like shorted that for about 10 cents worth of risk. We just shorted more at 66s or something like that. I told you, saw where my stop went in. So we'll go with 3 to 4 to 1. We'll just scalp it out on the downside here. Hopefully we do get an opportunity to break, get some 164.20s down there. But we're still getting ready to stop out if and when that winds up breaking. So we'll reload that on the 50-period moving average, see if we can get a little lower. We're bidding 22s. Oh, there it goes, but to stop me out. Fine, like we've bidded it out, and it's actually done well on this way down. So this is like quick stops, but long-ended if the market wants to go. I don't know why Oracle just did that right there, by the way. So a nice little break here. We'll see if it can just almost stopping us out right now. So we'll be very, very careful with it, but it's Oracle downside. All right, Sharif, give us another one.
Good, boys, but I want to mention, so we put on the headline there not long ago that the U.S. is going to host a critical Minerals Ministerial on February 4th. So more information on it. It's going to be the inaugural one, hosted by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. It's scheduled for Wednesday of this week at the State Department. The summit is a major economic push by the Trump administration to secure supply chains for the raw materials essential for high-tech industries. We're talking about defense, AI, specifically aiming to reduce global reliance on China. That's going to be Wednesday, February 4th. Not sure about the time, whether it's with market hours or not. So maybe those minerals names, USAR, CRML, MP, all could be in play at that time. So more on that as soon as we get it. Let's go on to the next topic, though. Robinhood bleeding aggressively here. 9 3/4 down, hitting 7 months low. Robinhood, even though it had a decent headline out of England today, where they announced that it's launching a stocks and shares ISA, so which is basically a savings account. It said its stocks and shares ISA combines 0 platform fees, commissions, and low Forex fees, and a 2% cash bonus, which adding customers can earn about 2% cash back on new eligible ISA contributions when they fund their account before the 5th of April. So that's for English customers in England. Separately, Mizuho maintaining Robinhood with a outperform rating and keeping the same price target at $172, guys, trading at 89.69, down 9.85.
Ooh, it did get SSR though. It should be, yeah, it hit SSR.
Must be, yeah.
So it's going to be SSR today and tomorrow, which just means the uptick rule is in effect on this stock, making it a little bit more difficult for shorts to pile in. Needs to be an uptick if you want to hit the bid. But the other story for Robinhood is, look at this monthly chart. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, obviously, this is the first day of the month, so this candle literally doesn't really mean much. That being said, if February is red, you've had an entire quarter to the downside, pulling right back in effectively to this. It's a key 90 level, because if you look at parabolic and then this consolidation, this 90, if we lose that this month, yikes. My first thought is this is the month that you probably look for the bounce back. So I think almost like March after earnings, or like late February, early March might be a good play for a bounce level, just technically for Robinhood. But that monthly, I haven't looked at that in a while to realize how bad it's gotten. I think there is a bounce chance, but if you're looking at it on a monthly chart, February 1st is a bit easy to be making a call on it. I think at least waiting until the back end of the month after they've had a chance. Well, we'll see, not just them, we'll see a bunch of different reports. We'll actually get a chance to even see how Bitcoin reacts to the 75 level. So there's a lot that you want to take in here, as it's been pretty hefty. All that said, because it is down 10%, and it did already tag this 89, for this afternoon, I'd probably look for like a false break of 89. If it does a little bottoming tail candle down there, just look for like a scalp long off of, it has to do a bottoming tail or give some kind of an entry, but because it is SSR, that's at least worth a look for the day trade. Looks like it's trying to get down there too, only 50 cents away. An ugly, ugly day for Robinhood, and you know, they're not alone. I think SoFi is having a pretty, oh, actually, never mind. SoFi actually caught a bit of a bid here. It was weak at 9:30, but even that's catching a bid. So yeah, it's just a Robinhood struggling kind of day.
Yeah, damn you, SoFi and Robinhood. I was going to go over to SoFi and just be like, look, I mean, these guys already reported. So I don't know. Did we find out the day that Robinhood reports? Because I think it's going to be, well, I mean.
Having their ministerial.
I can look it up. Feb 10th. So Feb 10th right there. So you're still 10 days, well, not 10 days away, it's the second today, but a few days away now until the 10th, which would be, I guess, next Tuesday, right? So we'll see that report come in for Robinhood, but we already have the SoFi report, and it was well received until the market opened, and then it just cracked lower. So I would say almost the same thing. I mean, we got increased accounts on SoFi, better margins, like everything sort of made sense for them, and they just kept on falling to the downside. I still remember when Mitch was here and called this thing the next Palantir to the moon, and since then it's been going to, what'd you say, Middle Earth? So we'll have to wait to see what's going on now with Palantir, that's tonight, with SoFi. I still like the stock, man. I want to buy some more, and I think, you know, after today, down another 2%, it's probably primed to be bought. So I'm going to think about adding some more to the old kitty here for SoFi. I think you can sort of set it and forget it, and check back on this in a couple months, maybe heading into next earnings call. There, like, I don't really understand, like, it's not a tariff play. There's really nothing about this, and why it's down here, I'm not sure. So Yeah, I don't know. The banking names just continue to really be the struggle bus here. Like JP Morgan finally starting to bounce a little bit off 300 here today. I think they got as low as 296, 297 during this move down. Yeah, right into there. So they had a little bit of an issue too. Came into some support and then bounced back upside. So there's no way I can expect, you know, a monster like SoFi or like JP Morgan, Bank of America, all these names that continue to get hit off earnings and it not happen to SoFi. So I'm going to be still relatively confident in SoFi, but, you know, got to give it a couple seconds to work out. But I do like both those names. I would say pick your poison and you'll probably be okay. Either one of those names, SoFi or Robinhood on a downside push. Needs crypto. They both need crypto. So if crypto goes, you probably got a winner there. All right, Sharif, what's up?
Palantir, Sean, after the bell today, as we all know, make sure to catch that with us. Market recap show with the big boys and everybody. It's going to be live, of course, at 4 o'clock, expecting the reports come out at 4:05. We'll see up 1.46 today. And here's what the analysts are expecting. Expecting 23 pennies per share for EPS and $1.33 billion in revenue, which would be up 14 pennies per share and up from that $827.5 million top line number we got a year ago. William Blair as well, boys, upgrading Palantir with an outperform rating and a $200 price target, which is implying about a 36% upside move, despite Palantir being 29% off its November highs.
29%?
Yeah, I mean,
That's not that. That's not that.
I almost feel like it's more than 29%, but I'll just take Sharif's word and
I
not
guess
even
it's
check it
not.
because I own the stock. So I'd rather be... No, you're 100% true, Sharif. It's fine, 29%. It might be, no, probably is. $200,
Right.
208 down to 140. So yeah, it's pretty, yeah, it's close enough to that. $50 off 200, yeah. Okay, but yeah, I don't know. We just talked about Robinhood being down like 40%. Like some of these high-flying names are just SoFi down from 32 to 22, you know, so down 35% as well. And that's just kind of par for the course. This is a high-flying name, right? Check this stock 2 years ago. Check this stock 1 year ago. Whenever you want to, you're going to be in the money as long as you didn't dance with any tech stocks like in the last 6 months or so. This is all the way back underneath where it was in August. I still feel like, believe in, you know, the people that are running these things. And I really do believe in Alex Karp. I think this guy's been a visionary as far as all of this space has been concerned. I think he's going to put up a number tonight. And I'd rather be long than short this name. I don't think the shorts are primed for a good time tomorrow, but every name has been popped and then dropped. So, okay, good little reload here on Oracle. I just want to make sure I'm putting some more out. We'll bid 49s there and get out another piece there as we reloaded some Oracle down there to the short side for that trade. But yeah, so Adair gave us some numbers here. We'll talk about that as it goes on, like what we're expecting to see tonight on this news for Palantir on the earnings report. But yeah, more defense contracts. You know, I'd like to see them talk about maybe getting into the commercial space a little bit heavier there. We know the contracts with the government are pretty sticky. So margin expansion would be real nice, man. If they can expand those margins and get a little more efficient on their side with AIP and with their foundry, I think it's going to be a real good sign for Palantir tonight. So we'll wait. Estimated EPS 23 cents. So that's what we're looking for, a positive EPS, and I think you're going to get it tonight.
You know, it's a big number
Palantir,
here.
but
they're expecting commercial revenue and government revenue to be even.
See, boom.
And that'll be like 14% quarter over quarter for government revenue and 29% quarter over quarter for commercial revenue.
Yeah.
So commercial revenue's actually been growing fast enough that at that rate, in theory, it will pass government revenue by next quarter. If it's supposed to be even now and it's literally doubling its growth pace, so we should see that happen in Q2 of this year, which that's pretty much what everybody said needed to happen. They needed to diversify just away from only government contracts, and that's literally what's going to happen next Q. So we get the confirmation of that tonight. Maybe that's something to look for. Like if that ratio comes not as expected, maybe that could be a little bit weak for them. Or if it blows it out, like if commercial passes government revenue instead of just tying it, that could be a big deal. As far as action this afternoon, I mean, I don't know. You can like trying to predict what a stock is going to do in the afternoon going into the earnings is a bit of a fool's game. It's an inside day relative to what we did on Friday. It couldn't break the 151 top on Friday. It couldn't do it this morning, but it hasn't broken the lows. Because the market's strong and it's selling off, I think you'd probably you'd favor the short for the afternoon just because it's been going reverse of what the market's or inverse of what the market has been doing. But yeah, I'd be looking at that commercial versus government revenue as a good litmus for tonight. It's something to watch out for. We're always trying to pick apart, because let's be real, like for almost every single time we're looking at major earnings, like when was the last time there was a company that we're all caring about enough to be focused on in the aftermarket show and they missed on EPS? When was the last time that? I don't know. It's usually some stock that we're not looking at that's going to miss on EPS or revenue. It's not going to be them. So you got to start looking at the individual line items. I think that'll be an interesting one to watch. What's also going to be interesting to watch is this afternoon, I'm hoping, is going to be GameStop, which cannot seem to stop going up. Pun actually not intended.
No?
There at all. No, not really. There's just can't seem to slow down, I could have said. Can't seem to reverse. So if that's going to be the case, it looks like it has a chance to get to $26. And I don't know. I don't know why I wasn't involved in the 25. I do know why. It's because I was looking at 4 other stocks in the morning. But it was a pretty clean breakout for GameStop. So I think before it gets to 26, involvement in front of the quarters might be a nice place to join the party. Good strong day for them today. Hasn't really slowed down. And TTM Star, what's wrong with Softy? I wish I could tell you. Everyone's been asking that question since earnings.
Yeah, I can tell you exactly what's wrong.
Well,
lower Azure growth. I mean, they missed.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't a huge miss.
No, but you don't have to have a huge miss. You just have to have one miss.
That's what I'm saying about the Palantir. It's like, well, you have to have something that you're looking out for. And if they can find one thing to nitpick, you're going to get beat the heck up. You could make the argument that it's too much, which is fair, but then that provides you with an opportunity to dip buy. It's at the double bottom right now at 420, or close enough to that double bottom. So that's where it has to hold. Like day one, it held 420, got a higher low. Now we get to see if there's a bit of a double bottom. I think that's usually when I start to like something. When you get that chance to, because you can't make a double bottom without it being a couple of days. So this is day 3, and it hasn't broken the low yet, which is a good sign. So maybe tomorrow there's some long here in Microsoft to work off of. But silver not doing much. IBIT has not gotten me short, which means it must not be at the volume-weighted average price yet, but if it does get there, looking short on Bitcoin, which isn't having, I mean, it's not having a bad day, it just had a bad weekend.
No, it's all right. We'll do a little face slapper here because we're scalping out of our silver trade. Their nice trade, man, now 30 cents in the money on SLV as it continues to make moves lower right there. So we'll scalp a little bit out. And then we have our dollar club, which is great. Oracle just printed me at 164. Well, it's right here right now. So here comes Oracle. I mean, whether or not you want to sit here on the bid or not, I've just been taking some fills out here at 164.05. But yeah, we're looking to break lower, and we just shorted it right there. So not bad. Short, reload, short, boom. Trying to cover a little bit. I still have about a third left, so I'm going to punch out a little bit more, just hit that 25 bid or offer, get out of there. Now we'll hold an official about a third left of this, a little under that with our last little out there. So we'll see if it comes through. The market is bleeding to the downside, so this is a real good move right there back in. My Tesla's probably puking all over itself. No, not really. So this was the only mistake that we've made really today, was right there. I mean, Tesla's, like I said, it's going to be P&L too. Obviously, silver's taking that over, and we want to say props up again to the silver trade that we're in right now. But there it is, nice downside move for Tesla. And we got stopped out literally at the high of the day, which is fine. I mean, you got to have your stops somewhere, and I'm happy to do that. But there it is, nice little pullback in there as we are now officially broken now through 164. So we can cha-ching, ring that register if you want that dollar club. And I'm going to take another bid out right there, punch those 06s and get a little bit more out as we were trying to just figure this trade. We still got an hour and a bit until the imbalances, and then we have tonight's trade. But for me on Oracle, it's breaking lower there. And we wanted a name that was, pretty hot. We saw the market trying to fall down. We've actually lost on the market our one trade. Yes, go. Oh boy, it's getting better. But I was just waiting to see if we can break lower through here. Again, there's the take on your 50 period, or so your 200 period moving average. Now you got a little bit of a cross happening. This is on a 5-minute chart. None of this is really vetted. This is just sort of me looking to see what these ranges are looking like. But that's what I'm talking about. And then there's the move back down. So we'll see. We waited for 165. It came. We got it. Now we can hold that 1/3, a little bit under 1/3, to see how much further we can go on this name. Just trying to check out the scanners here. Like, we have a trade rate. This is brought to you by eSignal, and right now it's reading the Qs, it's reading Nvidia, SLV, which I'm in right now, and SLV is going to be the P&L number 1 today for me. And then there's Palantir. That's a little disappointing. Was hoping that would stay above 150. Micron there, ORCL. Tesla, of course, Oracle, we're already on. Netflix, eh? So this was a name that I was looking at as well, Netflix, earlier during the midday, and I was actually debating a short on it. Okay, something just happened with silver. It just went ham there to the upside, so we'll get quickly in and out as it breaks 72, but we'll still clock it, man. For silver, what a trade today for SLV. But yeah, it comes out there as it just ticks a little bit higher. So that's why you got to have your stop outs. And there it goes, man. And like I said, I've been really trading silver for the last couple weeks, and it's been a great time. And I think it'll be on my watch moving forward from now on. Was the single biggest trade I was saying outside of the IPOs for me on the show on Friday. And we put a number up again here today. We only put up about a quarter of what we did on Friday, but still a good day, needless to say, there on SLV. But there's the spike up, and you get out and you don't ask questions, right? We still got this dollar winner here on Oracle, and we'll look to see what happens after that. But yeah, there's a big move there for SLV. Not a big move, but one that gets me out there.
Well, I've been sitting on this. Well, I can tell you that ZSL or ZSL, some people want me to say, we're Canadian. It had the same bottom like 4 times throughout lunch, and it just broke it on volume. So I'm going to jump out of it. I was just looking at the scan. I did finally get that IBIT short off the volume-weighted average price. But looking across the board, like if you look at like even GameStop, like this is not wanting to drop. It had to tick back right off of the highs, just as we were talking about it, right back in to the top. So there isn't there's really not much of a dip going on here. But I am brought over to Intel, which has had a pretty significant dip. This looks like a head and shoulders now on Intel. Like it got close enough to 50, and then Friday's high at about 49.5. So I'm kind of thinking if we're going to get all the way to VWAP, clearly you've broken this trend. So I want to still look for VWAP in here. It's been an okay short where I've been able to pick it up, but I want to see if I can get it in front of the 49.5, which is effectively Friday's highs. And as for I'm still in WBD, which I can quickly just show you. That's just from the morning. Whatever. That's like the Netflix. There's news on the Netflix deal with Warner Brothers, but they just set the vote. So I don't know. For some reason, setting the vote caused this to pop up and trade above the buyout price for a little bit, which is $27.75. So when it was trading higher than the price, I just shorted it. It just hasn't fallen all the way back to where. It came most of the way back, but it hasn't fallen all the way back. I thought I had a bid down here. I should have a bid down at 45 in there. There we go. Thought I had it in there. So I've just been sitting in that one the entirety of the day. There's no significant news which would cause that spike, but I do like some Intel. Up 6%, but it feels like it's making a bit of a top. Like I like that head and shoulders look for sure. Circle, new low of the day. That doesn't surprise me. I think this one's just in the penalty box. Someone asked me, is this a good place to buy Circle in the chat when we're coming on? And my answer was, I don't think I ever like a stock the literal day that it breaks the all-time low is probably the last day that I'm thinking about buying. Like if it bounces off the low and then does something after that, like it holds a low, get a double bottom, and like something here, like if it bounces off the low and then a few days later you're getting a higher low to play off of, that's one thing. But if it's literally breaking the low as of today, that's a hard pass. Let it fall. Let it try to show you where the bottom is going to be instead of trying to guess. Oh, like maybe this is going to be the low. Nah, forget it. It just broke. This isn't a downward spiral. Just let it do what it's doing at this point.
Yeah, that's my trading mentality here with Oracle. We are now $1.58 in the money. So we'll do this. We haven't done this thing in a while. Money storm for Oracle. We'll look for something else right now. Yeah, so we're just letting this thing fly down. Remember where our stop was? Our stop was about 8 cents away on this trade here for Oracle. So like I said, man, if you're going to be, really consider myself just a risk manager. So, you're going to give yourselves 8 cents worth of risk to now make 146 cents. but you can't predict how far it's going to go down. So we'll just start to ease it out right here near the lows of the day for Oracle. And, you know, what was once up is now down. They're going to be raising more money, financing some of their deals that they've been talking about and their build-outs. But, yeah, market no likey, me shorty, bye-bye right now on that one. Gold, you know, with the U.S. dollar right now starting to tick upside a little bit. Downside on the U.S. dollars, creating silver, other way around, creating silver just to absolutely fly. And you want to talk about a risk manager, like right there, right? I shorted all of this, right, all throughout the afternoon, boom, 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 and then it breaks and we get out. And then there it goes, right? So you take like a 20-cent hit or whatever, and now you don't have to worry about this kind of like epic move higher right there. But we were talking about the dollar. You know, this is slipping down a little bit right now. It's not a dramatic move or anything, but that's, you know, helping us with that silver trade. And as the dollar continues to go a little lower right there, you're going to see also gold. Wow, there goes silver, man. This is really bumping right now. What goes bumping the night? Yeah, silver is the right answer. Huge move there. And then gold as well, trying to get back up to said upside as well there. So a bunch of movement happening right now in this space. GLD and SLV both starting to go upside, getting ready to maybe short around $74. I just saw there on the chart for SLV. Here's a 5-minute chart, a little more clean here on E-signal coming right into this level. Actually, that's 75. This is the level I was looking at. Yeah, still 75. So we're still a minute away. That's your 200-period moving average coming into that right now at 74.25. But nice move higher there on SLV. We can chart and see if it does bounce off that 200-period moving average, which is on this chart 78, on my other chart 74. So a couple of different lines there, but yeah, we'll wait to see $74 potentially there. But this is the biggest trade of the afternoon right now, and it's going to be Oracle. Now $2 in the money, and this is not something. This is something that, you know, again, we're sitting here. Neil and I obviously make different decisions, and we look at different things. But there it is, man. We put this on with you twice. You know, at 2 o'clock right here at 165. Then we put on again at 2:20 at 165. Then we put on again right there at 2:30 at 165. So in just 15 minutes, you're now in the $2 club. Now 15 minutes, so not horrible. You know, you never know where your bread's going to get buttered, but it was buttered with Oracle and pretty good there. Nice move downside here in the futures. Better move in Oracle, and yeah, there it goes. You know, too bad again about I haven't even looked at Tesla, but too bad about that. You know, getting stopped out there. That was the only real blemish that we're going to have today. But and that's off of. And Tesla's still my number 2 stock. Right? We had the Tesla long, but that was we tried to get short there, and then boom into the downside. So there goes Tesla down now. There goes Oracle. Oracle's really bleeding, man. Now more than $2, and GameStop keeps going to the high side here. So. Warner Brothers, IBIT, and Oracle is what we've got on right now. Let us know in the chat how you think the trading's going today, what you think of our positions, what you think of your positions, or anything you guys want us to talk about. Put it in there and let us know. Let us know what you think of how we're trading.
Can we throw the super chat up?
Anything you want. Yeah,
if we can, Andre. There we go. Fuse is apparently starting to run again. We talked about this small capper early for sure. Uh-oh. Yeah, there's a Fuse stock on the venture. It's not the same thing. No, this one is broken through VWAP. This was one of the small cappers this morning that fit the bill that I think we heard Luis talk about it. We've heard Sharif talk about this, where it's above the volume weighted average price, but it did eventually lose it. Hey, guess what? It was able to get it back. So 100% to the upside on this. Do need to note, this is, like, if you do look at this on the daily chart, this was like a dumpsville from its inception that has yet to really break out the top. Sometimes the bigger parabolic move is after it makes a fresh high. So the simple fact that you have rejected the lower high, like it's day 2 lower high, got rejected at 370, the top being 376. So be a little bit wary of this making some kind of a crazy move today, especially given that the weakness. So you make your high at 945 and then a lower high after that, you need to see buyers above here. If it can close above 320 on a 15-minute chart, there's still plenty of time for that to happen, then I think a long in there is going to make a little bit more sense. But for now, yeah, kind of a good run on it, but I look at where it made that high earlier, and I'm still at least mini skeptical, especially when the volume is picking up, but not absolutely crazy yet. We do like it better than just about anything else that I've seen in small cap land. I guess you count GameStop as a small capper. I guess not really. It's not on the same ilk. and it's moving very structured. GameStop's not giving you any dips to get in. It's just gliding higher. So still an IBIT. I haven't got filled in Intel yet, but we've got VWAP on IBIT, and just looking for it to break down into the low of the day, as we're at 78.5 on Bitcoin. And as long as we're underneath 80K, like in this range, underneath 80,000 to me is still going to be bearish. If you get back above 80, I think there's room for it to get to about 84,000. But underneath it, I just think it's going to be a bit bearish. So we'll see how it goes the rest of this afternoon. The market started bleeding off, so I can't really find any longs that I'm in love with right now. If there's any other small cappers going that you see some relative strength in, just throw them in there. I see some people mentioning Fuse over and over again. And Nvidia in the chat, a couple of questions there. Okay. Yeah, but that's weak. I mean, yeah, look, the market's heading down, Nvidia's heading down with it. This thing can't seem to get going. There's something about Nvidia right now that has nobody excited in the stock, yet all of the hyperscalers telling you that it should be absolutely fine. And for whatever reason, the love seems to be in advanced micro devices, but that's not breaking 250 either. Where's my Intel fill? Actually, I just missed Intel, apparently by like 2 cents. Like,
I'm getting close.
Maybe 3.
About silver here. I was looking at GameStop, same kind of ways. I mean, you know, we just had opportunity 25 right into here, 25.50, 25.60 to buy it, but if it does come back in, maybe we could do something there. Otherwise, the 200 period is at 25.50, so I'm going to look over there. Oracle, we got pretty light down here at 163, so let's just let this one cook. We'll put our stop in now. We'll change it just a little bit, and we'll see what this is saying now on that side of things. And, you know, we do have its area, I mean, it's 21 period, it's everything is right up here for Oracle, so we can wait. The 50 period, they're kind of at the same level of 164 right now, so let's put a 164 stop out. And if that happens, oh well, we'll just take $1 on what's left. So we'll go 164, we'll stop out of that if that is what winds up happening indeed, and if it's not, that's okay. And then after that, man, not much else for me right now. We'll continue to look for some other opportunities. I was interested in a couple other names there, but they just haven't panned out. We can talk quickly about them, and one actually was going to be Meta. And I was actually looking to see if maybe I could trade a different, you know, like one of the lower names, like the FBL or something like that, where you get more of a levered play because you're coming into VWAP. So I'm not 100% sure it's going to hold, but this isn't a bad area if you're thinking about a long. Right now for Meta, it's just dropped basically $6 right in now. Obviously, we're holding on to this Oracle short, but we just talked about where our out is. And the other play, we're going to go to Adair in 1 second. I know what I was thinking about, and I just should have done it. I got distracted with Oracle. I was going to say, let's try 74, just real quick on silver. Yeah, it didn't come in. So we tried it there. It did fail a little bit, off 74, right back in. You know, number one P&L name today, number one P&L name on Friday. Hopefully going to be that, hopefully close all week. If we're watching it, we can hit it really well with silver. So good trade there. And you know what? Even though we missed the trade, still great because we definitely had the right idea. So we'll hit it next time if we do want it. $74 there on SLV. What's up, Dara?
What's up, Sean, is we're going to go over Palantir earnings. Those are going to be coming after the bell. And it's funny, Neil, as you mentioned that commercial and government revenue, I was already working on this infographic here. This shows on the left-hand side, there's like 2 charts here in this infographic. Left-hand side shows U.S. commercial and government revenue each quarter from Q1 24 to Q3 25. The chart on the right shows revenue growth for U.S. commercial and U.S. government revenue on a year-over-year basis. Now, what I find interesting about this is not so much U.S. commercial revenue catching up to U.S. government revenue, but more the slowing in the growth of the U.S. government revenue compared to the increasing growth in U.S. commercial revenue. Again, this is quarterly basis, but interesting look here for PLTR. You can find this infographic on many, many others on Palantir and other companies on X at TTV Research. Back to you.
Yeah, but I think, yeah, so and that's something we're going to pay attention to. One of the best things about the aftermarket show this week is, well, especially tonight, like we get to focus on Palantir. So we can it's essentially going to be all focused on Palantir. Apologies to anyone that's interested in Simon Property Group, but they'll report at 4:05. We'll probably let you know how they're doing. Almost nobody's going to be watching it. But at the end of the day, we can look at those line item numbers because it's not just going to be about the top and bottom beat. As Adara showed you guys, it looks almost better. It's one thing to say the growth. Someone just asked me about BBAI, that's why the chart's up here. No, but it's one thing to say the growth in U.S. commercial revenue. It's another to look at it on that chart and see how impressive it has been. Someone had asked me the thoughts about BBAI, and all I'll say is the same thing. This stock had been absolutely so respectful of the 200-period moving average that once it breaks, I would just back it out if I'm looking at the daily chart and go from the daily and go to the higher time frame after that. You know, and on the weekly chart, you've got a little support here at 450, but I'd almost look a little deeper. Like the $4 level gives you the 200 SMA on the weekly, and then a support level in there. So that feels like the right spot to at least be patient for. Because if you've been buying off the 200-period moving average, it gave you so many wins that the last time, okay, fine, just back off of it until it gives you some kind of a bottom. And for now, it hasn't. So it's not the same as like the all-time low break that we saw in Circle, but it's similar when you lose a major moving average like that.
I want to say, here's our portfolio tracker. We have one person in the green, and it's Adara.
Thank you very much.
I've always said Adara is the smartest one here. And no, Obi's already disqualified, but Obi's done really well, man. Obi's had some good trades, but disqualified Obi. But yeah, Adara, man, Adara's there. And then there's Joe and Sharif, the midday madness holding fort right there. And then Neil and I taking up the rear right now, 10 and 11, and they're fluctuating. It's going back and forth here. The chat with their plays, Brendan Fabian right there with
chat plays?
Chat plays with Tesla, Nvidia, and BBAI. So they wrote it with me on BBAI there. But yeah, right now this is what's going on. And just to give Adara the dues there, it's the Oracle short. We've been talking about that for a minute. And that's, I mean, I'm in it right now. We're printing, so that's good. So thanks, Adara. But there it is. That's the big one. So basically washing between Boeing and Starbucks, and then it's the Oracle short. And I'll just go over, Obi has some good plays here. Sidhu short and Circle short. So unfortunately, both of you have to be in the S&P 500, I think, to short it is what we decided. And he chose these two, which is fine. But good trades. Both these shorts hitting it. And then I don't even know if he knows what BW is, but he chose it anyways. Actually, I think that's the wrong.
Are you sure? Because I don't remember.
This is not.
I don't remember him saying this stock, to be honest with you.
No, he did say it, but
did?
I don't think it was. It might have been. Well, let me ask him. But he did. No.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah.
It was BW Babcock Wilson for sure, or
It
Babcock
was?
whatever.
Will Cox.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I just thought it was more expensive. I thought for sure it was the right name. I just wasn't sure if there was another stock. But this is right. I just looked it up. So it's only a $10 name. I thought the one that he chose was a little higher than that. But yeah, so this is fine. So everything's fine. Just anyways, congrats to Obi, man. This guy right there up 24%. But yeah, nice moves down, and all the rest of us other than Adara right now. Sharif, let me see what Sharif is holding right here. Broadcom, okay, so like Marvell, that's going to be down. And then, so he's basically flat as well, obviously, right there. I did. Oh, stock ranking right here. Okay, here we go. So yeah, nice. Thanks, Fabian. Circle. Yeah. So there's all the shorts right now. I mean, the market's bleeding. Northrop Grumman, IREN. That's Brendo's. That's up 8%. Astis, nice move. Ramin. Oh yeah, Freeport with the copper still holding out there. Nvidia, AG's the silver play there. Eli Lilly. Anyways, once you get into there, now you start to bleed down a little bit. But we'll keep this up and we'll just keep tracking it for you guys, right? I mean, it should be a really fun thing that we decided to do. And thanks to Dara and Fabian and everybody for, working hard on making sure that we keep our sort of tracker up to date and legit there. So yeah, S&P futures now getting a little bit of a pop. So that's a nice story. We already know where we're going to get out of Oracle, but I'm just going to save a little bit of money and see if I can get something out at 85. But if it does break through 164, then we will. We got that, Phil. So there it is. Now we'll take ho-hum. We'll have to take $1 on this one. So here we go, man. We're about to get ready to get out of Oracle. So I see you just got on Intel.
I was in it. I just got some out in the low 20s and then just got a refill in there. We said we're waiting for Intel in front of this prior, like this higher low. It's actually not 49.5. It's about 49.42, the meaning of life. So if it breaks out above that, it's like the low 40s, then we'll jump out. So 35 short, and inside the range, it's 49 to about 49.2. So just underneath like 1 percentage point is where the range has been the last little bit. And then IBIT, we've been in pretty much the entire time. GameStop's still not really doing anything. But IBIT's coming back into VWAP. So I might take a reload on this If it can lose VWAP again, it's like a tick above, then I'll jump back in and reload what we took out. But obviously, I mean, the market's ticking higher. I just heard the same thing where they said SPY ticking higher, but then I looked over at the chart. Oh, come on, load chart. And this is like, that's the tick higher. It's immediately reversing the move. So like,
Oh my God,
it got
big
to the
time
highs, and then well, a second ago it wasn't big time.
We just
Now
got stopped out of
now
Oracle.
it's really moving down.
And now Oracle flushes down a little bit, but there it goes right there to the downside. So the futures just went up and down. I don't, almost as if nothing's working in my ear because I don't hear any updates on what that move just was right there. So we'll just wait. Yeah, I don't think there's any news. So if there is, Adara will hit it. Look just how crazy that was there for Oracle. We just got out at 164. Now it's down to 163. But like I said, we only had 15% left or something. We really emptied out the clip. But there goes Oracle. Wow, what a, see? It's the life of a trader, man, and that's what you do. You just get stopped out. This is literally what happened to me on Tesla. Like, we're stopped out at the top again. Like, look at this Tesla trade, stopped out at the top. The top of the day. We have the #1 high print. We pretty much have the low print too, so that's okay, but right into there, right? Otherwise, bang, nice move there. But yeah, nice move down there to the downside. And we actually, as we were worrying about our Oracle there, silver kind of came back up to 74, gave you another chance to short that one more time. But yeah, nice move down here in the futures. That's too bad, man. We did have that trade there on Tesla. That's the one that I'm going to be ho-humming about for a minute. And then we did mention Meta as well. That was at VWAP. That's just bounced again nicely off that level, which we sort of mentioned, like, you know, maybe that would be something that could happen off 710. Now you're up to 712 again there for Meta. So that bounced actually quite nicely at those levels as well. So yeah, things kind of, you know, working the way they should here. 78.1
treasury numbers
right now. Yeah, I don't think so either. 78.1 right there now for crypto. So that continues to fall back in as well. We initially wanted the short. We wrote down 46. We should have just taken 45. How many times you got to see that? All right, what's up, Adara?
Yeah, so as I heard Neil say there, what happened here is U.S. Treasury here with their QRA estimates expected to borrow $574 billion in Q1. They see end cash balance of $850 billion. Again, just U.S. Treasury coming out with its QRA estimates, looking like that's maybe what provided some excitement and volatility to the market, because pretty much every stock I'm seeing here had some kind of move on that. Back to you.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, Neil, just wait quickly. Savvy Canadian traders looking to boost their exposure can now tap into the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500 with Beta Pro 3x daily levered ETFs, featuring, of course, built-in FX hedging. This aims to amplify short-term market moves, minimizing the impact of currency swings. Whether you're feeling bullish or bearish, these ETFs are built for active day traders ready to take on the market. Read the full risk disclosure in the prospectus at betapro.ca before investing. Thank you to Global X.
Shout out to Global X. I feel like the move came right before that treasury number. But either way, if that was the cause of it, I'm just going to throw break even. If you have a spike down on volume like that, if we get back to where you were before, which would be a little bit surprising, then it could have just been like a liquidity grab, and I don't want to reload the shorts again. So Intel, we got the 49 print. Now the stop's at break even. We either get VWAP or we get break even, and I just typed Intel when I was already on it. But IBIT did come down. It also flashed off of VWAP. I'll feel the same way. Like either we, oops, I don't want a 420, I want a 44. Either we get through and get to the lows, or we wait till the volume weighted average price. Like too early on IBIT today, and should have just waited. It's one of those. Actually, what's hilarious is I was going over the plan and like, oh, what was I looking at this morning? And the one thing, there's always stuff that doesn't set up that you just don't do because it never gets to your price. But I liked IBIT at 45, and then it spent some time at 45, and I didn't trade it at 45. Like the same way silver, if you were shorting silver, it was short off VWAP, or ZSL was long off of VWAP. Well, IBIT did the same thing at the 45 level, and I keep waiting until it's at the volume weighted average price, which is fine. But you got to make sure when it's at that level, if you're there and ready and locked and loaded, then you got to at least take the trade. Now, I wasn't there the entire time, but after noon, like right in here, there was a chance to grab it. So I'm going to go break even on at least the other two, IBIT and Intel. Warner Brothers, I'll probably just get out if that cracks above the volume weighted average price itself. as we speak. But if you look at, I just saw someone say, Save Man Woman just said, Apple is gold safe play. Well, I don't know what you mean by that, except for the fact that when that market made a little bit of a dip down, Apple basically held the high and then just ran $1. So that dip, the buyers came instantly into Apple and just didn't care. It seems like, and it makes a lot of sense. Like Apple had a good quarter, man. And this is what you want to see after a strong quarter, which is instantaneous dip buying. And even a liquidity grab on Friday through the lows. Like anybody that thought this was gonna dump in here got trapped when it then eventually held support, and now you're off to the races. Sometimes it just takes a good liquidity grab for something to get going. It's almost like they wanted to run the bottom after earnings before taking this thing to the moon. Sometimes they do it dirty like that. Never really believed this one should have been sold off, but then it is what it is. Apple 3.5 points today, looking incredibly good. Hopefully a sign of things to come the rest of the week. Hopefully my recent Amazon purchase doesn't get schmacked to the downside. Hopefully Amazon does better than some of their new releases. Outside of the Night Manager, they got nothing going on in Prime.
Yeah, well, those are lost causes. You don't ever want to
Actually, Fallout's pretty good.
You don't want to hold any of these stocks for streaming, that is for sure. Yeah, no, Amazon I think is definitely in danger because of what every major mega cap stock outside of Meta has done so far, but Apple's nicely rebounded.
Apple's looking pretty good, I think.
Yeah, no, Apple. Yeah, but Apple's on a mode of its own, man. Apple's just a monster. When you have those products and you can just keep on. I mean, the thing about Apple, like Apple and Google are by far my two favorites Mag 7 names. But if you're uncertain about Mag 7 and you're not sure which one you would rather be in, one or the other, this Mags ETF, MAGS, you get all 16% of each. Of them are in this stock here. So you don't have to, and they reinvest the dividends and then, it makes all sense. There's only two names that will give a dividend in the Mag 7, but, nice move higher there for this name today, up 0.29. So if you ever were sort of wondering what the Mag 7 were doing as opposed to everything else, you can get this Mag stock. And if you just look at this is what it's been doing for a little while. We said it's nothing since November. So MAGS just kind of absolutely doing nothing here since November. And that's kind of the whole lot of them, so just be careful, pick and choose your ones. I love Amazon. I'm in all of them, so it's a matter of time. I think the one with the biggest growth potential, in my opinion, would be Tesla. So we'll have to wait to see if that, makes any sense or not. But now trying to rebound a little bit. We talked about maybe getting leaps or something on Tesla for a little bit of a longer period. Starbucks moving around.
It's the only one, Tesla, just to go further in that conversation, like Tesla's the only one where you can see it being something very different from what it is now, and it's a growth industry with a tons of addressable market. Like Google's is like the new Microsoft, where like, okay, well, what's the company that's going to be around? Like Microsoft has gone through like 3 very long cycles being a top 5 market cap company. So you feel like I feel like Google's the one that has that moat where like you're not really worried about where they're going to be, and then Tesla is the one where when you start thinking about, okay, in the future, automated driving and the robots, if you can picture a world where everyone has a robot in their house, well, who else is going to, at this point, who else is really going to do that? It's not that others couldn't, but no one's really trying to do that humanoid robot the same way that Tesla is. So the first one at the break-even spot at VWAP is going to be IBIT. Intel's not really bouncing as aggressively, but Bitcoin goes back up through the volume-weighted average price. So after that little mini spike to the downside, things are catching right back up. Yeah, if we break, it'll be just the 35. Like I had to stop at like 44, but if it breaks our entry price, I would just get out of this. Just feeling like that little spike down, if it was on that little treasury thing, if we're able to take out the top, just get away from it. Just get away from the shorts at that point. Yeah, and I thought GameStop was going to be a thing this afternoon. But the volume, it dipped, and the volume is decreasing after the dip. It's not even holding steady on volume. It's still decreasing volume, unfortunately. Grant Radcliffe, do I like Marvell off the 200? I know Marvell's your baby, but my answer to, not really, like I'm not buying more chip and AI plays right now. Like that's So like that answer would be no. That being said, any company that I am a fan of that I am looking to add, I'm a person that adds off the 200 period moving average. Like if I think this company is going to be like part of my core holdings 5 or 10 years from now, and I have money to allocate towards it, then I buy it at the 200 period moving average. Like right now, that stock that I'm not getting continues to forever be G Vernova. But it's like, yeah, if I have money, which I do, like I have money I want to put into this stock, and it just keeps on not wanting to dip at all. But if I was a buyer of Volatile, certainly I'd buy it at the 200 period moving average. If you believe in it for 5 to 10 years and you've got the money to allocate, I do that 90% of the time if those conditions are met. There could be circumstances, like if a stock that I like and I want to add has like bad news that just hit and it happens to be at the 200, I might back off. But if there's nothing wrong with it, then I would add. Let's go to Adara at the desk.
I just want to mention here TTD because it's pushing into low of day more or less if you kind of excuse this opening candle here. TTD on watch after ad week reports that Amazon's going to be opening its ad stack to AI agents with its MCP rollout. Again, TTD tends to move to the downside in any kind of AI or in general ad competition, specifically for major companies. So again, TTD pushing lower as Amazon reportedly opens its ad stack to AI agents. Back to you, TTD.
Thank you, Adara. And we have a poll up for the Palantir earnings. So so here's my only issue with this is, here's the options. Palantir reports earnings tonight. What is your prediction? Now to vote in the poll, you have to be a subscriber because it's a subs only chat. So hit the like, hit the subscribe, jump in if you're hearing me, if you haven't. And then God candle, which is 160 plus. 160 would be less than the expected move, by the way. That's only $12 and we're expecting a 10% move. So to me, a God candle would need to break 165. You got to be bigger than the expected move. But sell the rip, bearish, flat priced in, just watching. I mean, I'm not trading it, but we should all just be watching. Sell the rip. Here, I want to say sell the rip, because to me that just means less than the expected move. Like it doesn't break out the expected move. I think just God candle should say 165, 170.
Man, God is forever undefeated. That God candle would have to go up to $300 to be a God candle, but I agree with you. Yeah, you got to get going on that.
It's got to do more than $10 for a God candle.
Yeah, if it was like a Jesus candle, maybe. But right into here, I chose sell the rip as well, because it has nothing to do with what I think about the stock. I mean, it would be nice if there was a nice little rip to happen there. And it more has to do with what's been happening in the space. I mean, like I was just saying, like if we rip up tomorrow, for some reason, obviously a good report, I think that's just the right play to do and sell it and ask questions later. It's not, like whatever, like you said, like hopefully your average cost base on Palantir is a little lower. It hasn't been the greatest stock for a long time, so just be careful with it. I did sell the rip as well, and we'll see if that can come all the way upside on that one. All right, well, here we go, man, new position. Your boy's here, so we're going to start trading. I don't know how more it's going to go. We just put this on right now. It came right into the 50-period moving average. And I generally speaking, this is not going to be for a long time, man. We're just going to hold this to see what the reaction here is on any kind of move. If there is a move before earnings, if we do come back to the downside, just look at this 50-period moving average, right? It's been fine. So we just get a bid up there, it hits 25s. So my stop out right now is a break of that 25 level. All right, so we're taking, like I said, we're taking very light shares. I normally, and you've heard me say this numerous times on the show, like heading into an earnings call or report, it's not, you have no idea what the positioning of some of these major funds are going to want to have heading into this, whether or not they're dumping their shares today into the report, whether or not they're adding into it, whether or not they're even doing anything with 45 minutes to go. But, I'm just going to hold out. If we're able to scalp a little bit out, first bid is actually, and we just got missed. My first bid was at 86, and it went to 90s flat. So we just got missed there. If we do get one little swipe down, hopefully we'll be able to get picked up there. And then the one-to-one math starts to happen, and then we'll see if we can break lower into earnings and be flat into earnings, right? We do not hold positions past 4 o'clock unless we're waiting for something specific, and tonight, like a rebalance or something. There you go, Neil. Have some fruit salad, man. On the Palantir trade, we'll pay for the fruit salad tomorrow for you, my guy. But there it is, a nice move to the downside right there on Palantir. Nah, we didn't make that much money. We just got to have a little piece. Now we'll wait to see if Palantir makes that move, continued back into the downside right now for PLTR. Just, you know, holding it. Glad we sort of talked about it. It's right there, 21 cents in the money. Like, it's decent, so, you know, it's only $147 stock. We'll see if it gets a little bit lower. We take it, you know what, let's take out another piece right now at 84. Oh, we just stopped the move right there. You might have saw a Nasdaq 2 sort of show up there. All right, let's wait to see what winds up happening. We'll try if we can get off like 5 or 10% down at these levels, but just trying to add a little bit to it, you know. Get that fruit salad thing going on there. Bye-bye GameStop as well.
That's not, I checked. It's not really.
No, okay, someone in the chat there, but there it is, man. There's a decent play on Palantir. Let's wait to see what winds up happening, man, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, Palantir. Well, Palantir is certainly moving, but GameStop, we'll see. I mean, it's pulling back into VWAP. That could be a nice little spot. We're about 20 cents away from VWAP, which for GME, that's almost a full percentage point. So you wanted to see the volume weighted average price before bounce. It's 315, and at the pace that it's moving down, by the time you get to the volume weighted average price, it actually might be 330. And then we're looking at the early look, looking at the imbalances. The early look has, I mean, Coupang's in there, 9s of penny stocks. No one cares about that. Nothing really too crazy, and we're not expecting any big index actions. The only thing I would add to that is it's the first of the month, so sometimes you might see just some random names pop up first day of the month, last day of the month, that kind of a thing. If we see that, it'll be on, you know, we'll be all over it, but the early look with the New York stocks is pretty much a nothing burger. Right when I got out of IBIT, it turned around. The market's still holding a little bit lower. I might jump into this, but I want to see if there's something in crypto land that's moving a bit more, and I was just double checking BMNR. As you can see, there's a bit of a difference between the chart of BMNR and BTC. Like BTC is just hugging the volume weighted average price. This is actually trending now. So it's within the space. Obviously, it's an ETH treasury play, but generally speaking, going to follow crypto. So if you see that, we had that big spike at 3 o'clock on that little treasury number. It failed 23. It's got a lower high at 23. So I want to fade this off of the 23 level. Pretty sure I paid for locates this morning because I don't think they're free in this stock. I want to sit in the, oh, maybe I didn't. So I'm going to go pay for them. They're probably going to be like literally nothing. BMNR?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was down 10%.
Well, it's, the way I look at it, if Bitcoin's having a bad day and ETH is having a bad day, then BMNR is having a worse day. Yeah. It's the easy way to think about it. Probably MSTR is probably having a worse day than Bitcoin as well, actually. 78.3. I shouldn't just say that. It's probably, actually, no, it's not.
IBIT's not.
It's actually not that bad. BMNR is just worse. That's why I'm going to it now.
Yeah, IBIT, I thought, like, IBIT's actually, like,
it's
up.
Holding.
Yeah, it's, like, up from the open. So, like, I was not really, like, thinking that this was going to be that today. I thought it was going to be a big, not a big-time short, but I thought it was going to be some kind of a short with silver. And I never got into it at all. But, yeah, I wrote down 46. It looks like 45 there was the high. We just took another little bit of a low print there in the 70s on Palantir. And like I said, like, our stop, this is another one. Like, our stop was, what was it, 20 cents or so? And, you know, we're finally starting to get into that. But, yeah, we'll see if IBIT, pretty choppy here. I always have Bitcoin down here, so if you're looking to see if there's anything popping off. I'm just looking at different scanners. It's kind of how we found Palantir there. Meta, we looked at Meta again. These are scanners on eSignal. Yeah, so Meta's just VWAP stuff, right? So there's VWAP right there for Meta, Palantir. These are all similar calls that are all near the same levels. PayPal, Qualcomm, ARM, so on and so forth. But okay, so here it comes right now. Here comes Palantir back up to the upside again. So a couple washouts. We have half left, but I still want to get a little bit more. Although we just broke, like now we're taking out. It's just doing something now. These are not trades that, like, if you have 0 day, well, you want to have 0 day options today, but this is not, everything's too expensive, right? Heading into earnings today, you don't necessarily want to be even really just scalping this. I'm just looking to see if there's any actionable trades happening. The future's kind of doing its own thing. I still feel like that, still a little bit like put off by the stop out there on Tesla, but GameStop just came into the 200 period again, so we're still waiting for a VWAP trade on this one, 25.40 to 25.30 potentially for GameStop to come through. So we'll have to wait to see if there's something over there. What's up, Adara?
I just want to let you guys know here, U.S. President Donald Trump posting on Truth Social about the government shutdown. As we know, there is a partial government shutdown, and it will be impacting the release of the economic data on Friday, chiefly the NFP prints. Those are not going to be released on Friday because of the partial shutdown. Either way, I'm mentioning here on this shutdown right now because President Trump on Truth Social saying that he is urging the Senate, or he's urging the House, to pass the Senate-approved funding deal without any changes. He said he will sign it immediately to reopen the government the second he gets it. So again, Trump urging for this partial government shutdown to end. I'll let you guys know if I have any updates, but it's worth noting he is posting about this on Truth Social. Back to you.
Yeah, I think we've gotten to the point where we're not disappointed.
Wait a minute, he's posting stuff?
Well, you know what? I've now been better about the habit of making sure I keep the account up, or at least be ready to see when Adara's not sitting here, because there's been at least a few times where we'll get crazy action, and then my first thought is, am I hearing something in my ear? Let me jump onto X, and then it's like, well, if there's nothing obvious going on, there's a really decent chance that the president has just said something material, whether it was the Armada that was headed to Iran, and then there was an Iraq headline last week as well. Now again with the shutdown. I feel like the market, we tend to think that the market's going to react huge to government shutdown worries, but realistically, it's been the kind of thing that typically gets settled, and any shocks are short term. And I always feel like if the market's selling off because of that, if there's no other reason, it's generally a good buying opportunity. But this market has plenty of other reasons going into earnings season, so I don't think you can make that assumption if we sell off on that news. Okay, BMNR is still sliding to the downside. I can't really find I'm still sitting here in the 80s trying to get it in front of the 23 and not really moving the orders at all yet. But if we start breaking down further, I might at least try to chase it a little bit. And I was considering reloading this Intel up here. It's back just in front of the 49 level. Still looking for VWAP. If we can get one more pop and a third time get into the 30s, that's worth a reload and just play it back into this 49 as well. Silver and gold not doing as much this afternoon. No, not even at all. GLD.
We had the one short. GLD was just following silver. We just had the one short there on silver.
It's such a small range on
really
GLD today.
A whole heck of a lot. All right, you guys can vote, right? I mean, you just put in your stocks, and then we have this screener right here that sort of visualizes what you guys have put in, and you can see right here the Minecraft silver right there. So we got to say shout out to Fabian for putting that in there right there as that's going. Obviously SNDK 90 of you, and then it's Robinhood's down 10%. So that's been something. Tesla. My second my number 2 stock on the day, Tesla, but too bad we didn't hit that. Oopsies. I said I really like SoFi today as well. At these prices, $22. Wow, down another 3%. That name was $30, like a month and a half ago or less. I think Google. Basically, if you had a portfolio of all of these names, I don't even think you're going that off here. I don't know about Fuse, but Apple, Palantir, AMD. You guys are really hitting mega cap names today. So I don't think there's much. And I heard Sharif mention that as well. There wasn't much going on as far as the trades were concerned, small cap names.
Not really. I've seen that Fuse stock and GameStop, and that's pretty much it. No one's talking about anything else.
We get a little bearish there on Palantir as, silver's back to 72. That 74 was a mistrade. There's no doubt about that one, but here we go, spin the money one more time for me on this one. And there it goes, man. Like I said, oh yeah. Boom. Hopefully you guys are in this one as well. There it goes. Nice move to the downside there for Palantir. We just got some, even a little lower. Now it's busted up, but we just got O's and 92s right there off of, again, another short into 40s, right? Breaking. We can switch I've switched it into 50s now just because we've taken some profits. So we'll now wait to see how low can we go on Palantir. Hopefully lower. We'll take another 08. Now we'll just let the rest ride. We're bidding down here 75s. Maybe we get those, and then we'll see if Palantir can go. We put that one again in our pipe and smoked it here. So 2 shorts into the downside there for Palantir, with our outs being just a little bit higher than that one. So yeah, so far so good here as we just keep on going. They're 148.08 right now. Nothing else really, hitting for me today. We had that feed stock on Thursday, Friday, even
It was
Wednesday
bouncing at one point
last
today.
week, 250.
Oh, never mind.
Remember how much this was at?
Oh,
at
goodness.
one point.
It was bouncing at 9:30, but not.
Yeah, now down to 2, and now down 23%. So some of these stocks that go up do come right back down. So just be careful. We did have the CEO on last week, so you can find out what he's saying about all of this play. But there's the feeding tubes in the hospitals, the GPS for feeding tubes. And nice move to the downside here today, giving a little bit back. But yeah, just be careful with some of these stocks that appear to go up and then just fall right back down. Palantir is now 40 cents, man. So, you know, the money stock is starting to, the money tree here, starting to go. There it is, the money storm, not the money tree. Right back into the 21 period moving average. So, all right, man, we said we're still bidding 76s. So let's see if that comes through. There it is, 78s, 77s. Oh, we got missed. 77s again. 76s, that's the face slapper right there. So I know your stocks obviously with Palantir earning. I mean, it's going to be moving around more than Intel and WBD here. But
Well, I mean, it's not really.
No, and what?
Intel just went.
Intel's moving? No, I was just going to say Intel's not moving probably, is it? I don't know.
Well, relative to Palantir, it's a third of the price.
That's what I'm saying, exactly.
This move is like 30 pennies, so I don't know. Like, it is moving more, respectively. Like, it's up 5% today, so it is moving more
Intel's
than
a good one,
Palantir.
yeah.
But it's like all relative. Like, it is absolutely. Like, we got 49.34, 35. The low here was about 50 pennies. Right now, it's about 30 cents in the money,
like
which is the equivalent of a $150 stock moving $1, effectively. So it is moving, but I'm looking VWAP here. Like, we're playing it to the open high, this support at 49 even. It's either breaking 49 and getting down in the volume weighted average price, or I can get a reload at our prior price. It's almost 3:30, so we are getting into that time of day where, like, new positions, I'm more likely to look at, like, if that DM&R might not get me filled, I'm more likely to look at if something pops in here on the imbalance locator and looks interesting. XLF, I haven't really seen that ever on the locator, but I'm always skeptical of when you have an ETF on the locator, not usually that big of a deal. AXL, I'm actually, what the heck is that? Not a huge, actually do not know this stock, but it's got a pretty decent size imbalance, about the same size of the volume. But no, I'm just holding on. We put on 2 trades. One was IBIT, which was a slight win, but it came right back through. This one's going to hold as far as I'm concerned. So my goal is to get about 70 pennies on this. The risk now is break even. When I got it, it was 7 cents. So far looking pretty good. And for Holdelicious in the chat asking for an SNDK early look, if I could give it to you, I would, but it's a Nasdaq stock, and we only get the early look on the imbalances if it's a New York stock or an Amex stock. Nasdaq, we see it when everybody sees it at 350. That's just how it is. There is no, as far as we know, there is no early look that's published anywhere for Nasdaq stocks. So all those Mag 7 names, you kind of just find out at 350 whether it's going to be buy or sell, which does make, that's why you see bigger spikes usually in a Nasdaq name at 350 than New York, because some people already know what's coming in New York. And all of you can, because we show it to you.
All right, let's see what winds up happening now with Palantir. Nice move downside here on that name, and now it's $1. So I think we should probably do something there. You know, we got to go to that club every once in a while. So there it goes, 147.20. Downside push happening for Palantir, and all we did was tell you that, like, our stop bet was about 20 cents away, and there it goes on PLTR. A pretty big move, right? So we'll take that as it just now starts to bleed a little bit lower. Go follow me at TraderTV, Sean. I'm posting these up, and you'll be able to do this. But there it goes. Huge move again to the downside for Palantir. Let's see if it continues. Wow. Okay, now we're starting to get real juicy with it right now. We took, like, again, this is just a story of a couple of different stocks here today. Like, this was a good trade. One, 416 with a 422. That's $6-7 right there. SLV was a pretty good trade. 72 and change down to 68. So that's a little bit more there. And then we got that happening to us. We got in and out of the TQs real early right there. That's going to be the only red stock I have today will be that one. So we'll slap a fail on it, but whatever. Just misread it. I thought it was a short day, but it was obviously a long day. And then we just come in here, we sit down, we put Oracle on on watch for everybody. That makes the move down. And then now we put Palantir on watch again, and there that goes to the downside here ahead of tonight's earnings. So yeah, I said we would try to hold on to something, so we've got something right now, and there it goes right now to the downside goes PLTR. So what's going to be a very, very green day. We're really happy with it. And then silver, TQs, Tesla, Oracle, Palantir. So kind of we just went through them all for you there, and they all make a lot of sense to me, and I'm happy that they sort of based out properly. And Palantir, honestly, it just came in because of this 50-period moving average. I would have done this play regardless of earnings or not, but the earnings are probably helping it because the futures really aren't doing anything. So we said we didn't know which way the big money wanted to drive this stock, but it looks like for right now, it's downside. So there it goes, move to the downside. We are in the money $1, and good trade there for PMAC. Congratulations, PMAC, there in the chat. You just took your $1 as well. So nice move downside. We'll see where it goes. We're $1.50 on that. And silver, we should have reshorted it at 74 up there. It came a couple times. I'm not going to get involved with this. There's only 30 minutes left. Join us and maybe I'll hold this into earnings. I don't know. I don't have too many shares left. We'll see what happens with Palantir. But, good trade there. Join us at 4 o'clock, and we'll be talking about that. So we'll see if valuation eventually matters for Palantir tonight. And, well, it matters now. This is the only time it's mattered because right now some of these high-flying P names, are getting hit. So because Palantir's done nothing wrong to deserve this move. So we'll see tonight what winds up happening. We saw Costco get hit on that valuation worry, and we'll see what happens here with PLTR and some of those other names, that have been really high-flying. They just got to put up or shut up, and it's about that guide. So yeah, here goes Palantir, just $1.30, $1.50, not too bad so far.
And the call, I think they're also the kind of company where the call, like anytime you have like the leadership of the company being like such a strong part of the identity, like we talk about this with Elon often, that it's going to matter. Like you want to have a strong call. And I don't know what time. They report at 4:05, so it's probably at like 5 o'clock or something like that. So
4:30, I don't know.
And we said this with Tesla. Regardless of the reaction of Palantir, I'm going to hold my overall opinion until I see price action after the call. So when I come in the morning, I'll probably look before I go to bed because that's just how I roll. I usually go over. I'll have like 1 or 2 charts, nothing too crazy. I'll usually look at like the last few days. I'll always want to know in the aftermarket like what the big cap techs are doing. So you look at Blue Ocean or anything like that, see where they're going. But tonight you'll want to look at Palantir if you're not listening to the actual call, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be interested in that. It looks like I finally gave up on WB. I did give up on Warner Brothers going all the way to the bottom. So I was pretty convinced earlier on that it was going to get to 27.40. In my opinion, I don't understand why it's trading as close to the price as it is, because Netflix didn't raise the deal, and as far as I'm concerned, you're not getting the $30 Paramount Skydance, and it's going to take months for this thing, if not longer. It might not close until next year, so explain to me how it's worth 30 cents or 1% away from the deal price, considering the time value of money, but whatever. So every time it gets up there, I just keep wanting to fade it over and over again, but it's not falling apart, so it is what it is. On this one. But I do believe if you're sitting there and I understood the logic of holding Warner Brothers Discovery when there was a better probability of getting a bidding war, a raised bid by Netflix, or Paramount Skydance actually giving you the $30. At this point, that's not looking very likely. Something's holding it up. Maybe it's just hope and dreams, but it's been sliding down, and I'm going to come in every single day, and if I get a chance to short it off the deal price, I'm going to short it off the deal price every chance that I get, but that's just me. So we're heading down a little bit further towards VWAP. I'm just going to be patient about it. We're past 330. So right now it's just moved about a point in the money, so 50 cents, but I want the volume weighted average price at 48.60. And I just saw a super chat. I don't know if I can throw that one up here. I like this because this is so true on the Rail TV. Sentiment can matter more than fundamentals. That is so very true. The reality is momentum matters so much for stocks. And if you're talking about something like a Palantir, which is not really, let's be real, it's not trading on traditional fundamental metrics whatsoever, which is why when we have the poll up here, like look at the current sentiment in the stock. So my thought was sell the rip, which was technically bearish, and 32%, so 1 in 3 like that. 38% say God candle to 160. My argument is that a God candle would need to do more than 10%, but that's just me, that's the expected move. But if it's been trending down, then sell the rip is what makes sense to me. Flat priced in, almost nobody believes that. I think you're right to say this. Palantir doesn't feel like the kind of stock that's gonna do nothing. And then 20% just watching. In fairness, I'm not trading in the aftermarket, none of us do, so I'm just kind of giving you what I feel like is gonna be right. It's not like we're gonna be sitting there hitting keys, trying to short it if there is a bit of a pop. But I do feel a lot of people are watching this thing. Whether you own it or not, because it has been so representative of some of the AI rally and some of the frothiness I think that people look at in the market, you're gonna be watching just for that sentiment alone. You know what, I probably wanna trail this. So when we had that number, and it was just like this treasury number, we initially bounced around the 49. I'm gonna trail this to the 49. I'm not letting it get back up to the top, just to be reasonable about this. Like, there's no point letting it get back through there. So I'll just trail it at 49, that way we're not gonna be able to reload at this point because it's too late in the session. Is what it is. Obviously a strong day for Intel. Sometimes this is just how the market works. You know, like I had a keystroke on Intel this morning and I was only looking short, so I wait for my shots, like breaking trend lines, and then it gets like a head and shoulders in the afternoon. And you end up with like your best stock is a short when the stock was going up all day long. And the way I see it is, I always say this is getting away with one, because ultimately, even if you're up doing something or it works for you, I always ask myself the question, was that remotely traded off? Of course it's not. Like this was a very clean breakout trade today. A breakout through the prior lows, and it was a continuation that never got to VWAP. Traditionally, I usually like to go long off VWAP when it's doing this. It never got there, but there's probably other ways you could have gone long. I had 47.5 as a key price. What happened when it got to 47.5? I was short. I could have gone long there. Is what it is. Like just because you win doesn't mean you were optimal on the stock, but I'm looking at this bleed in Nvidia, now 2.5% to the downside and still falling. Ooh, there's something, like you look at the cohorts, AMD, meh, at VWAP. I look at our memory chip names, Micron doing absolutely fine. SNDK, still doing absolutely fine. This is just a problem. It's an Nvidia problem, and it's Nvidia alone. And what it comes down to is somebody is in control of this stock when it ticks to the 190 area, and they're in very strong control. When I mean the sellers are in control up here, they just cannot do anything with this price. When it's above, it can't break away, and it's a hard line of resistance at this 190. That's just a trend break on Nvidia as well. So not looking good for them. Trailing stop in for Intel. We got about 15 minutes until, less than 15 minutes till the imbalances come in and we get not just Palantir earnings, but Simon Property. There was somebody else too.
Somebody else?
Not big, but like big enough that we'll probably have a look. I'll have to double check the notes, but it's really gonna be 405 Palantir. And then anything else that reports that's interesting, we'll let you guys know. We're gonna be covering their numbers.
All right, so we just got 20% left of said Palantir, and yeah, nice move back to the upside. I mean, takes them out at the lows, as we talked about, run that little gauntlet, and there it goes the downside, and boom goes the dynamite. So, yeah, watch out. I think we can, now that we've sort of made this top and we're starting to take out some of these levels right now, I feel like we can easily just absorb that and watch out for this 50 period. So we were always going to use the 50 period. That's kind of what got us into it. So now we're trying to break a little higher. So let's just use 148. We'll make sure we capture 25 cents on our last little piece, and then that will be that. So 140. I want to make sure I put in the right prices here. 148.01. We'll put that in and push offer enter, and hopefully be able to capture that downside play from here, but we'll just give it again 25 cents. So if you like that trade, I don't hate this. That's a huge move back up to the upside, but the problem is it did break that. So generally speaking, if I'd gotten back. I just refilled my water, getting ready for the close tonight. But if we do bounce off of that, that's one thing. But I probably think the short would have been there. And now that we've broken it, we just got our order a little bit higher, and we will see where it goes on this point from here forward. Okay, so that's going to be Palantir. I did want to have a quick look at Netflix. I mean, this name continues to be one in question, right? I mean, there's a lot of traders that want to know what's going on with Netflix. Where do we think this is going to wind up? I mean, we saw already, I know Joe was talking about the fights there on Paramount, and, you know, every streaming service is getting more and more excited about live sports. So, you know, UFC, we had the Royal Rumble on the weekend, and I was watching the female one with my daughter, and she really liked watching that. So I already know who won them all. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who hasn't watched it. But again, that was in Saudi Arabia. So Royal Rumble is on WWE. That's like the Netflix numbers that they put up for WWE. It's like about 2 million or so viewers every week on Raw, which is their Monday night show. They have not as much of a following for SmackDown, but still some good numbers there. So they're putting up better numbers than a traditional cable did for wrestling. And then we've obviously got to talk about, I'm going to call it up on a different chart because our chart doesn't show the split adjusted. And they have NFL, they have just a bunch of Major League Baseball. They've got, they don't have MLS yet, I don't believe, but a few different deals in the works. This is a weekly chart. Like, just look how bad this is, man. I mean, basically, if we go back here to the week of, it's probably summertime, can't see it exactly. Yeah, so August 9th. So September. So this is a September candle right here. So since September, there has been one up week right after that, so fine. Then you had, obviously, some moves down. So 1, 2, basically 2, maybe 3 weeks if you count this little guy in there. So since September, it's now February, you've had 2, maybe 3 up weeks. So at some point, it's going to have to sort of come into play here. And I think we're doing pretty good now at these levels. So if you did want to dip in here, it's been now 3 weeks that we've held 81 and change. So 82, 81, 80, you know, maybe turn the trigger at 80 if you're wrong. But I think this is a good little hold area that's now been 3 weeks. All these candles there, and if we sort of zoom in just to show you, this has been the bottom. So this is each, remember, weekly candles. So right into there, Netflix not looking that horrible on a weekly chart. So I would say that maybe they're, whoopsies, where'd it go? That might be something there. Let's get rid of that as I just zoomed in way too much, and we will correct that. So Netflix, not horrible at that spot at all, okay? Palantir still doing its own thing. Like, I'm not hearing any news about really any other stock. Let's go over and check out GameStop, as I know that's one that you guys are in. And I'm still looking at the visualizer. If there's anything you guys want, cool, we could definitely look at that. GameStop right now doing its own thing as well right now. It's kind of just doing nothing, actually, hovering around these levels. If GameStop were to get, and we've said VWAP for a minute, but if GameStop does get into this area, then maybe something to talk about. But for right now, I don't think that's going to happen. And then we only now do have moments until our imbalances come out. And Axel, 9, I don't know what's going on here, Verizon, TD Bank. So there's really nothing on here that's getting me that excited right now. If there was silver or gold or something, maybe we could have a look at that. These are government bonds. I don't know what's going on over here. I don't know if Guns N' Roses playing later on or something. I don't know what's going on, but we'll see what happens right now.
I just saw LUV there, and they reminded me of something. The travel names, but more specifically, if you haven't taken a look at the chart of some of the cruise lines, CCL's up 8% today, but it's not necessarily that it's up 8%. Okay, whoops, too far. But it is a quintuple top, which is not something you say very often, although I actually call it 6 times. So this is 6 times we've tested just underneath 33. Call it 3280-ish or so. I don't know about you, but anyone sniffing a 33 breakout tomorrow on CCL? I'm thinking it might be the case. Like, that is a pretty distinct level. Obviously, it's resistance till it's not. It's a kind of trade where if it doesn't actually break out some of those highs, then it's probably short from there. But wow, unbelievable rally. And another story of straight up accumulation at the 50-period moving average. Like, look at what it did for an entire week and a half off the 50 period, and then blasted when RCL reported, and now you're going to break out this, I don't know, I'm not going to say, sextuple top? I don't know. I've never even said that. Like it's 6 times on the daily that you're at this level, which is ridiculous. No, if I'm looking for a trade tomorrow that isn't like an in-play stock, like they're not reporting or anything. It's not that, but that stands out as a level. So I'm just going to move my trail's moving down to this wick low on Intel, which is 48.86 or 87, somewhere in there, and still holding for VWAP. But we're just going to look to see, like if it bounces, the closer we get to 350. You can always come out of buy and balance, and I just want to make sure that we're trailing this one out. So this prior wick low from our original entry price is going to be the out there. Sextuple is what I'm looking for and not chewing through it. I like those cruise lines for a trade. Just for a trade. I don't know if I'd ever want to own. Like I don't like owning airline. I've never owned an airline stock, not even like a Canadian one, and I've never owned a cruise line. I've never even been on a cruise, so who am I to judge? Maybe that's why I would never own one, because I've never even had the desire to go on a cruise, no matter what anybody says.
No, I don't really want to go on a cruise either. I don't want to be locked.
I just don't get it.
I don't want to be locked on a boat.
Yeah, like I don't.
Especially with my kids, it drives me crazy at the house, let alone on a boat. So yeah, we'll pass on that hard. But yeah, I think for me, nothing wrong with cruises. I mean, I like cruises. A lot of people like cruises. I heard Sharif mention he wants to go on a cruise too. So hopefully he'll have that opportunity. Of course, single life, no kids there. Cruise might be fine. Okay, so I mean, there's lots of stuff for kids to do on cruises too. All right, so
If it's like a Disney thing, maybe.
yeah, no, Disney would be way worse for me, man.
Wouldn't that be
almost
better for the kids though? Because then they're more.
No, there's lots of
occupied?
stuff for the kids. No, like, I'm not worried about that. It's just you're in one space. I'm not. The kids.
I would get
kids will be fine.
I just know I would get claustrophobic. That's all. But maybe you don't. I've never done it.
I get claustrophobic as well on things. Why is my? I saw Dimitri was crushing the banana bread in there. I was like, I like.
Oh, that was
banana
banana bread?
Yeah, it's always been. Man, what do you mean? They have a banana bread here for like the last.
I try not to eat the pastry off the platter in the morning. Because it's so. There's always like 2 or 3 things that are nice.
Yeah.
And
the banana bread's good.
No, but I won't just eat one piece. If I have one thing from that tray, I'm eating 4 things from that tray. So I know myself.
Yeah. We did take another piece out there on Palantir as it came into the 21 period. So remember, we're going to stop out if this breaks 148. So let's just take another piece of profit there. We had made that decision when it was basically at 148. So just fell back in. We take another piece out in the 65 area. Now we'll wait to see where it goes from here. But yeah, banana bread is one of the best, especially when it's made with home-baked lovin'. Okay, not McLovin. Let's check out Boeing here. Just, again, we're only 3 minutes away until the imbalances, and then we'll be able to talk a little bit about those, and then we'll take you right into 4 o'clock, where Brendan, Dara, and myself will all be joining you with the after-hours show, and it'll, again, today, just go until just after 4 o'clock. We'll be dropping the Palantir earnings. We'll discuss it. We'll see if there's anything else to talk about. Then we'll get out of here, and we're back live tomorrow at 8 a.m. And we decided that every day this week, and if I go over to @TraderTV.
I think except for Friday, obviously.
Except for Friday, yeah. Every day this week, we're going to go over to @TraderTV Research. And if you guys are following anybody on Twitter, hopefully it's me, hopefully it's the show, and hopefully it's Neil, and hopefully it's TraderTV Research, the most important one to follow if you're looking for earnings. I want to find, where's the weekly one? That's what I'm trying to find right here. It is right here. So here's the events calendar. Adara's put this up. Very well done, of course. It has a post-market, pre-market. More importantly, though, has these economic data. We have some good ones coming there. Unemployment, NFP, Michigan sentiment, initial jobs as well. But we're going to go live. So here tonight, NXP is actually a big stock. So we can definitely take a look at that. Tomorrow we'll be live as well with Supermicro, AMD, and Joe's favorite, Chipotle. Then we do have Enphase there, so we can have a look to see what's going on in the solar space. After hours on Friday, on Wednesday should be big as well. I'm already calling Wednesday Friday, so you know where my head's at. Alphabet, Qualcomm, Snapchat, I think that's going to be an interesting one. Eyes, Lips, Face. ELF, we'll see if that gets going as well. I kind of like that stock. Maybe I'll have another look. ARM. Don't really like ARM, but that's in there. And then here we go, man. It's Amazon and MicroStrategy. Let's see if they... theirs is always boring.
Because MicroStrategy does not move. Earnings are meaningless for them.
Yeah, this one is going to be Roblox. Affirm has really gotten clubbed. So that would be an interesting name to look at. Affirm's down to like $65. That's been a dumpster fire. So you have to wait to see what happens with those ones. So it's going to be like...
And Iron, too.
Yeah, Iran, yeah, whatever. That's okay. We'll have to check that out. That's one of Brendan's plays. And then in the morning times, we got Eli Lilly. I think that's going to be obviously one of the biggest names to look forward to this week in the pre-market. AbbVie, Uber and Eli Lilly all on Wednesday. So yeah, go over to @TraderTV Research. I tag it all the time, so you'll be able to find that on mine. And on mine as well, I just put up some of the trades I make throughout the day, including this Palantir trade that we're in right now. We talked about Tesla, what we were doing. There's our SLV. And then we have the sticky note here. And I'm putting things up over the weekend as well, fun little things as well. So just check it out and give some love. And make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe to the platform, right? Just go on YouTube, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and let's get going on that one. I'm going to buy some more SoFi pretty soon, so that would be something. 1 minute left right now before imbalances.
Yeah, 1 minute to go. Tightening up the stops again, because sometimes we do get an imbalance on the name you're trading, and there'll be a bit of a spike. So the prior bar candle is going to be the stop on Intel, which is now 48.80, and we're coming into VWAP anyways. With less than 1 minute to go, obviously the earnings are big. I don't know if you mentioned Uber this week as well, one of those pre-market ones. So I know everyone's excited for the aftermarket earnings, but don't forget, we're here at 8 a.m. every single morning so that we can also react to those early morning moves and the names that are going to decide to have their call in the morning and report in the morning, which is not my favorite, but we're here for you guys anyways, regardless. That's what it's all about. And my goodness, it's also all about Apple. It's Apple's world. I'm looking over the ES and the Nasdaq are both still off the highs. Like neither one is really bouncing or anything. The markets, everything I'm looking at is going downside. Apple just made another high. It's up 4% today going into the earnings. Throw the super chat up. The imbalances are coming out as we speak, and we can get to the super chat just after that. But just to give you the imbalances coming in now, ETHA sell 3 million for ETHA to the sell side. UiPath 2 million sell. Nvidia 1.4 million to the sell side. Their Oracle 900,000 sell. Apple small sell 900,000. I would say the big one there, of course, Nvidia 1.5, and you don't usually see ETH there at 2.8. But Danny's boy is saying HLSCF, silver mining companies, up 12% on the day. And silver is down 6%. What kind of trickery is this?
Wow, individual stocks.
Yeah, I mean, again, like an individual mining company, I don't know anything about them. It's not written in stone that because silver is down that every miner. It's the same thing. GDX doesn't always have to move with gold. And if you're talking a single mining company, certainly it's going to have its own news. Without knowing anything specifically about that one, I couldn't say. But it's not incredibly uncommon. If that were to continue for like a couple of weeks, like if silver goes down for 2 weeks in a row and that stock keeps on going up, that would be a different story.
My son is at home cooking a steak right now because he loves Maddie Matheson. So he's reading the Maddie Matheson cookbook that we have. He watches that Maddie Matheson show online. And I'm just telling him right now, we'll do steaks together one day. So this guy's a monster. He's spooning the butter and everything on the steak like Maddie does. So anyways, this guy's too much. All right, so I was still looking at Netflix, but I'm out of everything. So Palantir runs the bid there. Like, what a surprise. This is like the story of my life. And honestly, every day you'll see me sitting here putting on these trades and then literally getting stopped out at the very top. And so, that's fine. Sometimes it works out for us. Sometimes it doesn't. Here it does not again. But take the profit on this. It was only the last 10%, and we started to get some out there already. So I probably only had 7 to 8% left anyways on that name. Really, really think that tomorrow, as long as the market's kind of doing what it wants to do, either stay flattish or slightly down, whatever it is, I'm going to be all over Apple. I mean, I was very, very close just to putting Apple as a market buy almost right off the open. But it did fall right back in, almost gave us a nice little opportunity to buy that thing at 260, and it's just been like straight upside ever since. So like Apple really like put that one in our sort of cap, and remember that for tomorrow because Apple just continues to extend out. Like I know tomorrow we'll be talking all about Palantir and everything, but like Apple needs to be watched and appreciated. That is for sure. See what I'm saying? So right there's Tesla. That's the top tick right there again. But the good thing for us that we do have one of these bottom plays there on Tesla. So what's going to be a nice positive day for us. Could have been better without that trade. And just to check back in, SoFi just hitting the skids again here into the close, down to $22. It'll be at its lowest spot all day. And so, if you were looking to buy something, maybe they get upgraded, maybe they don't. But SoFi right now is kind of just on a day 2 action, right? So there still is lots to go for SoFi, and we'll see what their report looks like well, it's already out, but we'll see what's going on with SoFi. Wait, SoFi did report already or no?
Yeah, they reported.
Yeah. Okay, what was I going to say?
It was
last week, right? Okay. So Nvidia down. We said a tale of two stories today with AMD up, Nvidia down, Broadcom down as well. So it looks like AMD is going to get a lot of the love over there. Tesla's still down that 1.84%, but I just got the note that my car is now charged downstairs. So thank you very much for that one. And then it's energy stocks. We haven't really looked at those today, but this is where the blood is sort of right now today. So whenever there is blood in the streets, you may want to look at this sector for potential rebound off some sort of quell there, which was nice for Iran and everything. So oil
really stands
back down to the downside there today. What stands out?
Nvidia really stands out in a bad way
it's
today.
a bad one today.
Really?
Too bad for Nvidia. Yeah, and in this space, it's Nvidia, Northrop. I mean, I'm not even sure it should be in this section. KLAC, LHX. So yeah, so I guess they're all, electronic technology. Okay. Anynet, I don't know. So, some of these names in here. Dell, 4% is okay. There's SNDK down here, Western Digital. They're both up 14 and 8% respectively. And then Apple. Yeah, man, this is why. Like, diversify. Get some Apple into your portfolio. If you have the S&P 500, you already own some Apple. So that's going to be a nice little day for them. And Nasdaq going to go out pretty good. I mean, not good on this move down, but still up 0.7, which is nice. 0.7%, and then 0.5% for the ES. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty good day overall to start the month of February. So let's see if we can get a positive month here.
It would be nice to have a positive month, but we have earnings that'll determine that, will help determine that. 20% of the S&P reports this week. So, we're going to have a good week this week for that to be true, obviously. Easy peasy. Appreciate you. 0.2% today, just in gratitude. Thank you for the super chat. You didn't trade today, as you had, well, I don't know, it says work, so I'm assuming maybe you had work and you got too busy, or maybe just taking a day break, you didn't find anything. But thank you so much, Easy peasy. We appreciate you. And another one from Gulf Franchise.
Yeah.
Mama still in a strong uptrend. How far is she going to go? I should have done like, ooh.
Ooh, mama.
Oh, mama. Actually.
What stock are you talking about?
MAMA. I don't even know what that is. I don't know. I did get out in front of VWAP here on Intel. It did tag that 48.60, and we're at 355. I meant to go over. Usually 355 imbalances will pair off. ETH got paired off by half, and Nvidia got paired off totally. Oracle is still there as a sell. So Oracle actually grew by 100,000. Like it went from 900,000 to 1 million to the sell side. Nvidia's imbalance paired off. ETH imbalance paired by half. And I don't know MAMA. Is that even a stock we know? No, I don't think so. Let us know.
I didn't look up Mama, actually.
Yeah. I don't know, if it's a symbol, then I'm not aware of it and I can't track it down, so is what it is. But as I mentioned, the thing about ETHA, or maybe any ETF in general, is typically they don't have huge reactions to the imbalances, so it wasn't doing anything, and then when it paired off, it also didn't do much at all. As far as Nvidia goes, though, that sell imbalance paired, and it did bounce at 355. That's why you pay attention at 355, because oftentimes, not all the time, but oftentimes, you will see either major pairing event, or like a stock might flip, might go from a sell to a buy, or just pair off altogether. And if you happen to be riding into the downside on a sell imbalance, 55 is where you might see a bit of a turn. I'm not saying you go long there at that time, but it's a good place to put a good time to put a trailing stop in if you happen to be in the money. That's all.
Yeah, 3 minutes left. We can just have a quick little look at Palantir. Again, Palantir is going to be a good stock for the show today, so we're pretty happy with that one. I think it'll be PNL 3, but I'm not sure. I can check Joe and everybody's trades, but yeah, I think this will be a good trade there. So good job there. I know we don't discuss PNL, but we can always share which stocks have been top PNLs on the show. So it'll be Palantir today, just making the move, and it was a pretty good move right there back in. So far so good there. Worst P&L today on the show will be TQQ's, and that was just right into there. Other than that, man, well, actually, you got to figure out a different one because they'll always be mine. So
the only thing that matters is what your P&L is relative.
Yeah, exactly.
A winning trade relative to a losing trade.
I will always have the biggest winners and losers.
That's the only thing that matters. But like whatever you lose on a given strategy or a given stock, what does it cost? Like what's your relative win on that stock? Like that's all that really matters at the end of the day. So
we don't talk about P&Ls here, so I should use something different because we all use different share sizes. We've talked about
exactly.
that, right? So,
and because your goal is, and the only reason I say that is everybody's goal is to simply be profitable, and that's the simple ticket to be profitable. That said, we have one more super chat. Zen Zombie, should you keep an eye on Fuse tomorrow? My answer would be if you're a small cap trader and a stock does good volume on day one and is up, like it holds VWAP, it holds the gains. Yeah, it's a 200 million shares. You don't have to trade it, but anyone that doesn't give up the volume weighted average price and holds good volume is worth a look the next day. It doesn't automatically mean Fuse is going to go, but there weren't a lot of small caps going today. So, and this is one of the few ones, and it held up pretty well. So I think if I was a small cap trader exclusively, I would be looking at this come 7, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. That said, not my cup of tea.
all right, 1 minute left. We'll flip it over to Adara and to Brendo, and we'll be back with you guys in just a couple minutes as we get set up with 1 minute left. Nasdaq's going to be positive, so is ES today, so it's all good. Let's wait to see what winds up happening. Put your predictions in the chat now for Palantir. I don't really have one, so we'll wait to see what winds up happening.
Bull pop and drop.
Let's go back. Oh yeah, that's right. I said bearish. Yeah, I said bearish popping, but then bearish tomorrow, I think, for Palantir. All right, 30 seconds ago, we'll flip it around and then we'll figure it out.
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, we'll take you into the close here. Dara and I were just staring at this Nvidia chart, wondering what's the story here. Nvidia with a sharp right-hand turn about 2:30 this afternoon, straight downside. A little bit of a bounce here into the close. Pretty negative, though, not only for Nvidia, but some of the semiconductors going out in the red as a result. The market, though, overall, that's the S&P. Looking pretty good here. We are definitely going to close out the day in positive territory, both the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq back to the upside right from the word go this morning. We erased that early gap to the downside and then some. Looks pretty good here. About 5 minutes away from Palantir, the main headliner tonight. You have all kinds of data and fun stuff ready, I see.
Always.
Give me your overview here as we head towards Palantir earnings.
That's what I do, Brendan. I also did you ever see anything on that Nvidia? Because I could not. Okay, so we do apologize, and if we ever see anything, of course, we'll let you know. I do have 3 Palantir infographics here. Some of them kind of show the same thing, but I think one of the ones that I ended up finding the most interesting, which I know Neil discussed as well, is this U.S. commercial versus U.S. government revenue. So, I mean, as Neil mentioned here, U.S. commercial revenue is certainly catching up with U.S. government revenue, but that's less interesting to me, Brendan, than the left hand of this chart where you see U.S. commercial revenue, which is the minty matcha green. That's accelerating when we have either slowing or declining U.S. government revenue, which is kind of interesting here to me. So interesting look there. Then we also have in general here just growth per segment last quarter. This is minty matcha-ish color will be annual growth, and then sequential growth will be the blue. Either way here, guys, really solid growth across the board, but that U.S. commercial revenue is growing at a pace that the other segments are not even close to. So interesting look.
I was at a coffee shop actually on the weekend that had a banana bread matcha. I'm not a matcha person.
Did you have it?
That sounded horrific to me.
I'm a matcha person, and I'm kind of offended by the presence of this drink. So,
that's how I was kind of leaning anyways.
Yeah.
Banana bread matcha, guys?
I mean, I like matcha, but I'm not sure about the banana bread aspect.
That was a drink.
Right here. So, yeah, no, I'm going to pass on that. But I do like the matcha. And my daughter's getting some sort of a chai oat latte all the time from Starbucks. Man, these kids are too spoiled. All right, Palantir just itching up a little bit, 149 and change right now as we get ready. The earnings should be dropping momentarily, and we're going to have it live for you. So as soon as they come out, Dara will drop those. And yeah, just excited for it. We're looking for 23 cents earnings per share. Hopefully that can come through. And if it does, then I think it won't react. It's going to react to the forward guide. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for better U.S., obviously, commercial revenue. I think that's going to be important. Up over 121% year over year. We'll see if we can get that again. That was last quarter. So 486 million, looking for more than that, everybody. And that's what we're waiting for. So here comes Palantir, nice little move upside now, minutes away before this. And they're the big one, right? I don't think there's too much else. What did we say? It was NXP?
NXPs.
Yeah, so one more today. But Palantir, not a great day today, but better than, you know, it started off. It started off breaking through 150. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's just, it was a better day to start with and kind of went to the downside. So let's wait to see what happens to Palantir right now. 149.
I think margins might be a little bit of a
story here as well. If you remember last time around or last time out during earnings season, they put up 80%, which is just astronomically high. Whether or not they can hold that 80+% gross margin, 30% operating margin remains to be seen, but going to be a key talking point. This thing's had a couple of days back downside here. We're starting to lean a little bit higher here, guys, right at 150. Not a lot of volume following this, but did you see something?
My news is not on Palantir, guys. Apparently, a company memo has shown that SpaceX is confirming a merger with XAI. This is just a report, but it does look like a company memo has confirmed the SpaceX and XAI merger. Will they call it SpaceXAI? Just jokes, I have no idea, but interesting note.
I mean, it was to be expected. I think it was a matter of time. The fact that they haven't rolled the car company into this as well seems a little bit odd. But I mean, let's, just quickly here, guys, reaction to that. Is it more positive or not as positive for the IPO?
Well, I think it plays both ways, because obviously if XAI is losing money, you can make the argument that drags down SpaceX, which everyone's excited for. But if you also start to think, if Elon wants to bring them all together and you wanted it to be a merger with Tesla, maybe this brings us closer to that. Which could overall be a positive. So it's kind of a nothing for me. I'm not jazzed about it. I think it would be more exciting if we get some news with the Tesla regard. And just even the fact that we're getting this IPO this year for SpaceX, one way or another it's coming to market, whether it's a merger with Tesla or we get the IPO mid-year, we're gonna get this one and we're excited about it. But we still have a couple of minutes to go until Palantir. I don't know if you're excited about the 6AI thing. It's kind of a meh for me.
Yeah, no, I mean, both companies are private, right? So there's not too much to think about right now. I mean, maybe he IPOs XA, like what symbol are they going to take over? Their XAI and Tesla, are they going to come together as well?
Oh, here we go.
Wow, yes, there it goes. Nice move for Palantir, up to 156, 157. Nice move there, initially for PLTR, 159 taking it out. So we're going to get those numbers in a minute, but it's just up to the 200 period. There goes 160 on Palantir. We knew Karp would show up with a number, that's for sure. But that doesn't mean the market won't beat this thing right back down. So there goes Palantir up 8%. You got it, Madera? Let's go.
Yeah, I do have it here. So commercial revenue growth, 137% year over year. That does outpace last quarter. Government revenue, 66% year over year. That's back up to steady growth after kind of stagnating in the mid 50%. Revenue in general here is 70% year over year to a whopping 1.407 billion. I do believe that does beat estimates of 1.35 billion off the top of my head. That's also up 19% sequentially, so on a quarter over quarter basis. Closed a record-setting $4.262 billion of total contract value. That is up 138% year over year. Closed a record-setting $1.344 billion in U.S. commercial TCV. That's up 67% year over year. Customer count up 34% year over year. Adjusted income here representing a 57% margin. GAAP income 41% margin. We know margin was going to be on watch for the fiscal year here. They were guiding commercial revenue growth of greater than 104%. They get U.S. commercial revenue growth 109%. So they did beat estimates on that. They did have U.S. revenue grow 75% year over year for the fiscal year. Government revenue in the U.S. up 55% year over year for the fiscal year. And then total revenue up 56% year over year for fiscal 2025.
500, is this the number you had? 570 million for the government side?
Let me just clarify that. Yes, correct.
Yeah,
I was just focusing on the growth.
Yeah, so 570 million on the government side, 507 on the commercial side. Both handily beating here, guys, for Palantir.
There is no negative to point to. The only thing that I think would have exploded it more is if you had had the commercial come out of nowhere to pass the government. I think that would have been just gigantic for them. But overall, like this, I mean, Adair was reading, I'm like, okay, well, that's good, that's good. I don't see anything that we can nitpick on. Unless I'm missing something, I don't see any of the guidance missing. I don't see any of the metrics being slow growth than expected. The only thing that I would say is we're expecting a 10% move. So we do need to break out this 161 at least. We're about 9 points to the upside. We need to go a little bit further because it was already.
Yeah, it's going.
Yeah, it's trying to go, but we just need a couple more points and then we can get that expected move.
Yeah, congratulations to all my carp heads out there. Look, the other thing too is here, man. Listen to this. closed, so they closed record value, 4.26 billion in total contracts. But I just saw here, U.S. commercial remaining deal value, 4.38 billion. So they still got some values and some deals that they still got to, contract with. So that's a good number as well. So U.S. commercial remaining deal value, RDV, they have here a 4.38 billion, up 145% year over year. Palantir, the only thing I got to tell you guys as far as the trading, and I'm going to leave the numbers to Adair and everything, but this is what happened last time. So this is Palantir's earnings day last time. We weren't on the air. I remember watching it rip-citied, and then this was the very next day. So we went up to 220, Brendan and everybody, last time, and then basically we just got smoked the next day, and that sort of had started this downside collapse for Palantir, down 30%. So it's nice to get 10 of that 30 back right here, but let's wait to see what happens with Palantir tomorrow, just up to the 200-period moving average. I just want to bring that to everyone's attention. It's not, the numbers are great. I mean, this is literally, and not to just pump Benzinga, but look at this. If you just come over here, this is all green. Like every number on here is green. So, there's not a bad metric here, unless Adair, you found something else. But for right now, Palantir looks like it's clear skies to the upside right there. Glad we still have some of this.
On the revenue side, just real quick on the outlook, full year revenue, 7.182 to 7.189 versus 6.2 billion.
Yeah, I saw that.
Handily topping estimates on the full year revenue guide. I'm not seeing anything, as you were just saying, Sean, that is negative whatsoever. Just real quick, pause on that. There's an Nvidia headline, OpenAI unsatisfied with the speed at which Nvidia's hardware can spit out answers to ChatGPT users from complex problems. So maybe have a look at Nvidia. So OpenAI has determined it needs alternatives to NVIDIA's latest AI chips. In some cases, has sought alternatives since last year.
How does that make any sense? How do you need an alternative to the latest NVIDIA chips? From what I know, NVIDIA's pumping out the best chips.
Well, that's the thing. We already know that their chips are better than AMD. So you'd think, okay, well, that could be good for AMD, but we already know AMD's cheaper because they're not as good. So I'm not sure what's supposed to get the bump here, unless you try to light a fire under the best. But
yeah, when we came on here, Adair and I both looked at each other and said, what the hell happened to NVIDIA this afternoon? And here we go, now we know. Yeah, somebody knew going into this, definitely. Okay, back to Palantir again, just to recap. EPS 25 cents versus 23, revenue 1.4 versus 1.34 billion. All is well in Palantir's world.
Well, I mean, look, the expecting revenue of 7.18 billion, the street was at 6.2. So they just smacked all those analysts around a little bit there. But yeah, that's an interesting move on Nvidia. I don't know. We'll have to wait for that tomorrow. If OpenAI was a stock, I'd be shorting the you-know-what out of it. Blaming Nvidia for something seems absolutely ridiculous at this point.
Seems cheap.
Sharif's been talking about how slow they've been for a minute. So I just think that maybe they're not computing fast enough. Maybe there's something with their script. Maybe there's something with what they're doing. But I don't know. I think Sam Altman is a little upset here.
But if there was a reasonable alternative that actually provided something similar, I could understand the argument and the complaint. But when you don't, it's like, well, what are we talking about here? All of the other, I don't see Gemini complaining. And I've been having, everyone I know absolutely loves Gemini, and maybe it's Perplexity as well. And they're not having the issues that OpenAI has. And I see it from everybody I know that uses it heavily, and they've been complaining about it for months. And to throw the blame at NVIDIA just seems a little bit cheap. But if we're going right back to, and again, someone in the chat's like, Neil, you're overthinking it. It's entirely possible. Maybe we are overthinking that one. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. If it was the reason why NVIDIA was going down, then the whole tried and true all afternoon, then the whole tried and true somebody knew this was coming out. It can be annoying, but that's sometimes it's how the market works. Just one thing on Palantir here, because it seems like a second time we've tried to run 60s, $160 that is, and you're starting to see some sellers start to, I don't want to say be in control, but they're starting to win out a little bit. And I would point, the one thing I would give I know, Sean, when you mentioned it made that high previously on those earnings, it had that wick top. The slight difference would be what it was doing going into those earnings. Like you were spiking, you were already trending into the highs. There hadn't been a significant pullback. So this does have a bit of a difference. It went into bear territory going into this report, which does set it up as different. That said, there's nothing, I feel like, remember earlier I was like, well, I want to see what happens on the call because CARP's such a big part of this. What's he going to say to reassure? But there's not a metric or something that he has to reassure us about. So I'm not even sure what the call needs to tell you because there wasn't anything that required our reassurance. Yeah. It's just going to come down to the price action tomorrow morning for me.
I feel like it's going to tank tomorrow, to be honest with you. I feel like because there's nothing wrong with this report, it should be a lot higher than where it is. It's only up 7%. Give away that 1.5%. It's only up like 6% here in the after hours. It is starting to tick downside a little bit right now. So if we can't find anything wrong with the numbers, then what's going on right now? And also another big concern for me, guys, is the fact that they are a $360 billion market cap with $7 billion annual revenue. So that number, $7 billion revenue, 360 billion market cap, still overvalued. I'll probably empty some bags tomorrow on Palantir at these levels and just look for something else. But yeah, good quarter, better than bad.
Definitely. Real quick on NXPI coming across here as well. Initial move was down. We're basically back to where it started. Revenue was 3.34 billion versus 3.31, so a beat. Adjusted EPS 335 versus 327, so a beat. EPS 179. Outlook adjusted Q1 277 to 317, which is higher as far as I can see here. So we're chopping around again. Initial move downside, we're coming back up. Not a lot of volume. Obviously, everyone paying more attention to Palantir as of right now. Let's look long term or longer term for anyone who might be invested in this or holding this long term. What do we think here, guys, where we're at on a higher time frame?
Yeah, I would, like I was just saying, I would sell. I think you got to sell this name. I mean, it's a good trade, but it's right back up here into the 200 period moving average. I would say for a trade, if I were you guys, I think the trade would be, let's wait to see what happens tomorrow. But if you don't take out, if you come to the screen right here, this is 161 to 162. That's sort of the go zone. So if we can get above there, hold these levels and make a move back up to the upside, then fine. But in what's been a pretty typical easy trade so far has been, and that's why I chose it on the chat, was sell the rip. Yeah, so I said that Palantir would put up a good number. I said that at 350. They did put up a good number. Palantir now going to get hit back down to the downside. I hope not, but it's got to hold that 161. If it does not hold 161, then for me it's a sell, and I will be getting out of some of this tomorrow. So, and I do want to thank, right now we did get someone dropping in some memberships. Thank you so much to Farm Trader for dropping in 10 memberships there into the chat. Always great to see you guys staying late with us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Farm Trader. And if you are just joining us for the first time, make sure you hit the subscribe and get into the chat. It is the subs only chat, and that's one way that you can get those 10 free memberships by enabling gifts. Look, I think we both like the pop and fade in the poll. So the thing that would have made me more bullish, as we said earlier, would be if it was up more than the 10% expected move. It failed right in front of that 10% expected move, which could be bullish. But when I look at the weekly chart of Palantir here, like we're bouncing off a pretty significant support level on the weekly, like right in here, the 50 period on the weekly, which gives us a great litmus test because we talk about the 3-day rule. It's gonna line up that if this week holds that level, that's pretty solid. If we lose this 147, 148 to end this week, then that's a very bearish candle post earnings, and you've got a gap down. And you look at the chart and it tells you like 120 to 130 in there, but that's just what the weekly chart's telling you. So you give it that 2-3 day rule. It's bouncing off a key level now, but it couldn't push through the 60. So because that didn't happen, I'd come in ultimately thinking that 60-61's a fade. Yeah. But I'm looking toward the end of the week. Can you hold on to 147? If you cannot do that, then the valuation all of a sudden is going to matter, and we're still in pullback territory.
A little bit of, I tried to actually retest that high right now, but a little bit of a pullback right now once again for Palantir. Best quote of earnings season so far. This is from CEO Alex Karp on the earnings release. Quote unquote, indisputably the best results that I'm aware of in tech in the last decade. Oh, right. He doesn't mix words. Straight to the top for Alex Karp and co. Again, 5 p.m. is going to be the earnings call here. Just to sum it up once again, revenue up 70%, $827.5 million from a year ago for the fiscal year. Sales for the firm totaled $4.48 billion.
Yeah, I mean, nice little look here there for Alex Karp. He is, again, as you said, not the type to mince words and certainly not the type to deflate his ego, I'll put it that way. But I do want to show you guys here, I've already updated, it's already on X. We work quickly over here at X at TTV Research. Here's an updated look at U.S. commercial and government revenue. Now, I alluded to that continued growth, but I think it's crazier when you actually see it. That matcha green line for U.S. commercial revenue growth cannot stop going higher. And even I mentioned, I thought there was a little bit stagnant action there for U.S. government revenue growth. That would be the gray line, but that even got a little nice uptick today. And as Neil mentioned, we're still not seeing U.S. commercial revenue catch up to U.S. government revenue, though it was getting darn close. Again, X at TTV Research. If you guys want to see this infographic, there will be more of these updated Palantir earnings infographics that will be coming out ahead of the earnings call at 5 p.m.
Real quick, more on this Elon, SpaceX, AI story. The move coming this afternoon, again, if you missed it, SpaceX and AI going to join forces. SpaceX is also preparing the IPO, could raise up to $50 billion, value the combined company now at $1.5 trillion. I was just reading as well that Tesla will have an 80 billion, potentially 80 billion stake in that 1.5 trillion, which is to be expected. So at the end of the day, Elon wins.
Yeah, I mean, that's 80 billion of 1.5. That's a drop in the bucket. Talk to me when there's a merger between Tesla and those two companies. I think a lot of Tesla shareholders can get behind that. One way or another, I mean...
No, I mean, he's just basically, I think the problem with why Sam Altman's all in a little tizzy here is because XAI now doesn't have to worry about anything.
No.
They're going to be linked up with SpaceX. So now all of a sudden, hey, you want to invest in SpaceX? Sure, I'll give you a couple $100 billion. Oh yeah, but by the way, we're going to be spending that all on XAI anyways.
Money.
So he doesn't have to worry about raising capital anymore. Meanwhile, this guy over here, Sam Altman, has Oracle problems, now has Nvidia problems. And yeah, they're not even a public company. And I'm not sure what even OpenAI's numbers are going to look like. XAI can hide underneath the guise of Tesla and underneath SpaceX. So, you know, the geniuses just keep getting smarter, and that's why I don't want to doubt these guys. Alex Karp and Elon Musk, both founder-led. Look at all the founder-led businesses we're talking about right now. Nvidia, you know, Palantir, Tesla. You know, these are big businesses, and OpenAI. You know, these are big businesses all being run, you know, by the geniuses that brought them to the market in the first place. So I really like all these names, and we're going to continue to watch out for that 161 level on Palantir. Have your eyes glued to that when this call starts going. When is it, 4:30?
Adair has a potentially bad thing here for Palantir.
Emphasis on potential because it's pretty minor, but you guys know the type of stuff that I notice and pay attention to. So Palantir customer growth is slowing down year over year and quarter over quarter. So this year, or I guess for this quarter here, they're reporting annual growth of 34% for their customer count, and then sequential growth here of 5%. But you compare to last quarter, because of course I have an infographic for this, they did have customer count here above 40% year over year, and then 7% quarter over quarter. So that's slowing down. That's the only case across the whole Palantir report where I saw a metric that was notably slowing down, both on an annual and sequential basis. So maybe Palantir getting some, I guess, slightly fewer customers. As I said, that is kind of a rough thing to call a blight, but I did want to draw your guys' attention to it because I noticed.
I feel like that would seem worse if not for the fact that commercial revenue is growing at the rate that it is compared to government revenue.
It's almost
so that could have something to do with the types of clients they're getting on the commercial side, which means it doesn't really matter at all. Because you want that to continue going. So if they're just getting bigger clients and fewer of them as they grow on the consumer side, then it's not that big of a deal at all. But again, you have to find something to nitpick in sometimes in the market. As we get right back to 161, it seems like they might actually make a run at this level before the call.
There we go.
It already is breaking 161. I mean, their gap net income just keeps on 79, 214, 327, 476, 609. So I mean, these guys are making money, and glad to be a shareholder here today in Palantir.
Can we get a rally out of this tomorrow? I was going to check. Nvidia didn't really do anything on that. Oh, there we go. A little bit of a downtick on that story. Just to recap, if anyone's just coming in on the Nvidia side of things, OpenAI coming out talking a little bit cautiously, to say the least, about Nvidia's technology, essentially saying that they are not convinced that NVIDIA's platform and NVIDIA's chips are producing the best results when it comes to the compute power for ChatGPT users, and are quote unquote seeking alternatives to NVIDIA, maybe AMD. Positive on that. Yeah, no downtick anyways, guys, for AMD. So we come in tomorrow, Palantir's up, NVIDIA's lower. Market's probably going to be choppy.
Well, just don't forget the fact that Apple was a rocket ship today. So if we're kind of collecting like, oh, this is up and that's down, we shouldn't be sleeping on the fact that Apple had a good 4% day coming off of some of the lows. They reported and were down, and then all of a sudden now they're right back into the upside. So yeah, I understand Nvidia is going to be down right now. Palantir is up, but it does matter. We can't ignore a behemoth like Apple having a strong day. All we need is Microsoft, and the market would look even better.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not even worried about Nvidia. Like, let's see what happens. Jensen probably gonna have a comment about this, and we'll see where it goes from there. But we saw AMD starting to rip upside today as well. So maybe, we always say that this market is rigged, and today maybe you get another look at exactly why, with AMD making moves higher and Nvidia making moves lower than that story. But you know what? It was a story of all the chip names getting hit there into the afternoon. So it wasn't just Nvidia that hit to the downside. But this should be a good win for AMD. I mean, if Nvidia is going to get through the ringer a little bit, maybe AMD and Broadcom and Google with their TPU. I mean, all these names, it just keeps on going. This is another reason why I like Google, is that you have so many different levers to pull with this company when Nvidia is not a one-trick pony. Remember, don't forget about Nvidia has a software side. Apparently, that's a hard thing to get around. So once you've sort of built on that software, you can't just all of a sudden throw all that GPUs in the garbage. You need to build on top. So we'll have to wait to see what happens with Nvidia tomorrow. But yeah, man, sleep well. Should be a fun day tomorrow.
Yeah, good for the market, good for the overall sentiment, I think, for a nice beat here for Palantir. We'll wrap it up at that, guys. Again, earnings call is 5 o'clock. Nothing really on the negative side that we can see right now for Palantir. What Alex Karp and co will mention on the call remains to be seen. Thank you, Ms. Adera, as always, for your tireless efforts on the graphics. Guys, great day, great trading. We'll catch everyone in the AM. Remember, join us at 8 o'clock. We'll see you then.